Shout out Sirenscape. Thank you for providing us with sounds and music that make our D&D sessions 10 times more immersive. Appreciate you guys and your work.
Sweet. I'll just share this again. Everyone got the map? How we doing?
Good on my side.
Good here.
Sweet.
Same.
All right.
Are we doing the paper map this time?
The paper map.
Yeah, that's. Or did you have a different map?
Oh no, yeah, no, it's the same as last time. Yeah, it's black and white. I didn't put color. Yeah, this is just something I've made like that. All right, cool. So, you guys all find yourself standing on a beach in this cave. Some of your fellow adventurers from last week caught up with you. They followed your tracks. You all find yourself standing on a beach, underground, next to a lake. The water is moving somewhat as you look across the surface of the water. You know that there's definitely something in the water. What do you guys want to do? Where are you going to go?
Let's get away from this thing. I don't know what's underneath there, but I don't really plan to find out.
Alright, so I've unlocked your tokens. You can just move around the map as you like, and I'll pause things or illustrate things as you like, and you guys can establish an order. But I think I'll leave it up to you guys. When you like run into enemies or whatever, it'll just be the order that your tokens are in, unless you guys want to set some kind of like marching order for going down these tunnels. You happy? Is everyone happy with that?
Yeah, I'm good with freestyle.
Yep. And the lighting is working for everyone?
Yes.
Yep. Cool. Sweet.
Stay together, guys. We don't want to get lost. I think Vic wanted to say something.
Yep.
It's good to see you here, Sobex and Norin. How'd you get down here?
He needs to go outside first. Just leave him alone.
Well, I mean, tracking's pretty easy for me.
Additionally, you guys sort of cut a swath of devastation behind you. So there were pretty visible signs where you were going.
Perhaps we should explore the rest of the cave.
Did you see that goo thing? It nearly killed me.
Well, Norin,
So just
go ahead.
so for the people that weren't here last week, part of Yingalor's leg was dissolved by this cube of gelatinous goo. Yeah, he came very close to dying.
Is he still wounded now? Because I have a potion of greater healing. It's not going to regrow the leg, but
I think. How are you?
I-
Well, you got a little bit of healing?
I'm alright. Like I've got a fair few healing abilities. I'm just sort of holding up for now.
okay.
Thanks, sir.
All right. As you look around your surroundings, the tunnel that leads away from this cave is sort of like a naturally carved. The water has sort of worn and eroded this thing away. It's like a curved sort of overhead tunnel, and you can see stalagmites and stalactites around the edges of this tunnel. On the edge of this line of water, there's like soft, small rocks, sort of sandy beach. As you look around, you can sort of see footprints, like some kind of small sort of humanoid has left, like black sort of sooty footprints on the stone. And multiple sets over time. You can tell that something sort of used this as like a watering hole.
Can I try and make a survival or nature check to try and figure out what the fuck it is?
Yeah, you can.
Which one would you
Make a
like?
Survival check, please.
Okay. Shit.
Other than the size of the foot, which is like the same size as your foot. You can't really pinpoint whether or not it's from a specific creature. You just narrow it down to humanoid. You can tell it looks roughly like your foot.
So Isaac interjects. Norin, why are you measuring your own footprint? Don't you know the size of your feet?
Well, I just got here. They're definitely not my footprints.
But you're
It's like a
standing right where it
barefoot-
is.
It's like a barefoot footprint, like the shape of a foot.
Okay, Isaac leans in upon closer inspection, realizes there's like some faint claw marks where the footprints are. Oh, never mind. Then he walks off.
Are we gonna try and get around this lake, fellas? Or are we headed back the way we came?
You can get through that lake. I'm
Oh,
not
I
a
ain't leading the
swimmer.
way anymore.
Just for the people who weren't here last week, there was some kind of aquatic monster in the water. Store narrowly avoided being monstered by it. Yes. There's something in the water, definitely.
So Beck wanted to talk.
Yep, shoot.
Could I have a bond fly around the cavern and just see if this is a closed off area?
What, sorry, fly around the cabin?
My pseudo dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me,
sure,
sir.
yeah, sure. Yeah, of course. What can I do? If
I was
got
just
that
adding
far?
him in as like an NPC and then putting him
Oh,
on
yeah.
friendly.
Yeah.
So if you just type in pseudo dragon into like NPCs, you might need you need that DMG loaded.
Yeah, I have it. That's cool.
Yeah. So if you put it into the combat tracker and then you set it to friendly, you can control it.
Okay.
And it already has dark vision as well, so it'll automatically have that light like that vision effect, and you can just describe it. It communicates telepathically with Sobek.
Yeah, cool.
You can share like images.
Monster manual, did you say?
Yeah, it should be in the monster manual.
Monster manual, okay.
Just look up pseudo dragon. If not, then the DMG, which you should also have.
Sorry to
So
be a
friendly.
pain.
You alright? What's up?
Is it always like this for you guys?
Like what?
Like death is looking over your shoulder?
Well, I guess when you put it like that,
Alright.
it always has been like that for me. Ever since. Then he looks away.
Isn't corruption spreading in your forest?
Only recently. Prior to that, I was with the Fae anyway.
Fae? What is that?
They're mystical creatures of nature and weirdness, but they raised me.
They're not evil, are they?
No, they were just tricksters. They're friendly enough if you treat them right.
That's good to hear. I would be
Sorry.
worried if you were raised by evil creatures.
So Beck, have you got control over a barn now? Does that work for you?
You probably won't be able to give him control.
How do I do that through?
So you probably can't give him control. You just control Aban as he describes
Okay,
it to you. Yeah.
All right, cool. So as you sort of indicate to Aban, he flies sort of like a wide circle around the perimeter of the lake, and he comes back to you. And so, do you see through his eyes? You see what he sees if you sort of concentrate on it.
I think it's like a snapshot here and there, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. As you sort of flies around the perimeter of this lake, you realize that there's, at least above the water, there's no tunnels that exit anywhere else. You see the central sort of island with this large chest that's been plundered, laid open, and you see the broken remains of a small paddle boat. But other than that, above the surface of the water, you can't see any other tunnel exits or entrances.
So, and the new guys, we know about the Leviathan in the water there.
I'm assuming
Leviathan.
you.
And Sobek will suggest that we leave this here for a later time, that there is nowhere but the water.
Yeah, so you pass that message on to the rest of the party?
Yeah, I'm suggesting that to the party. Like, there's not much here other than the water.
Let's get the hell out of here then.
Hold
Before
on,
that
store.
thing comes back.
Quickly.
Yeah, I don't like the sound of that either. It's
Sorry, what
nothing
were you
I
gonna
want
say,
to
Nora?
trifle with.
Store it, said Red Pony. So.
Okay, still, what did you want to do?
There is a dragon if you go south through the tunnel more. If you go to right out of this section. So, do you really want to go that way? I'm not prepared to fight a dragon. Are you?
A dragon, you say? Perhaps
Uh,
there is no need to fight. Very intelligent creatures, yes?
would I know that how the dragon dynamic work? That colored ones are evil mostly, and metallic ones are usually good.
Make a intelligence check for me to see what you know about dragons, what you've talked and communicated
29
with.
or 19, I guess.
Okay, so you have the broad strokes understanding of the colors of the chromatic and the metallic dragons and how they roughly correspond with alignments. You didn't actually make out the color of that dragon in the dark. You saw a gout of red flame, but as to the scales of the color of the dragon, you didn't actually make that out in the darkness. It was a long way. This cave that you're standing looking out over the bluff, that's a big space, and the light, rather than reflecting off the surfaces, it just was like shone into the darkness. You definitely didn't see the edges of this cave. Now that the lighting effect is on, I'll be interested to see if it works a bit better, just to give you a bit of better understanding of how massive a space that cave was.
I didn't see its scales, but it spit red flame. So, proceed with caution if you wish to parlay with this beast.
Well, if it's not bothering us, why should we bother it?
I do not have any intentions on attacking a dragon first, but it would be quite a tale to tell.
I'm not interested in telling tales.
Forward, shall we?
Yeah, no, it's just as you move through the tunnel, you see it's sort of becoming more and more trafficked. You're winding your way back up around this this sort of corkscrew shape this tunnel falls into, and you see the buried giant humanoid skull, and the tunnel winds its way through the mouth of the skull. So you sort of pass under this low bridge, and it winds up over the top of it.
Is there any plant life around?
As you come into this sort of this opening, it's like a four-way junction. You see, you start to see more sort of fungus. But as you've made your way through this, there's not much in the way of plant life up until you get to this point. When you make your way to, when you sort of, did that work? No. Again. Yeah, sort of down in this direction, you see more sort of fungus and plant life, sort of growing things. It's a bit more damp. There's a lot of nutrient. Yeah.
Could I try to find any fungus that might be useful to us for medicinal or harmful properties?
Okay, make a survival check. So on the walls, beside you, there's like a small sort of patch of brown sort of lichen in the corner. If you want to make a survival check for me to try and identify it. Okay, so this kind of like you scrape up some and you lay some out and you smell it and you look at it. You recognize it as having the ability to staunch blood flow. And as you sort of scrape some off the wall, you place it in a small cloth and you reckon you've got about enough to stabilize one person as they're bleeding out. You think you could press this into the wound and it will stop the blood flow of any sort of slashing wound.
You see Yingalor just like walks up to the wall and just like starts licking at the stone wall and just hey, I think this stuff could be really useful. I'll put some away for later. But if I go down again, could you guys make sure I get some of this?
Isaac's looking at you like, useful. Just looks like mold to me.
Trust me, I know plants.
And I know mold.
What?
Good luck.
Can I make a? Okay, go ahead, Store.
I was actually, Norin, you were here right before, like you lived here in the area. This is out of game, real quick.
Where are we on the world map?
You're very close to the encampment of
Valoria.
Valoria.
What is that, F11?
Just bring up the thing. F4.
F4. Oh, okay.
F4, but sort of a bit more in the north corner. I can put a
Okay.
thing on there. Pointers. Sort of F4, the corner. Top
Alrighty.
left corner.
I kind of just kneel down beside you and say, "Is he serious? He just licked the wall."
Can I make a survival check to see if I know of this plant? And if
Sure,
it's
yeah.
actually does that? Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so as you sort of see the lichen as he scrapes it up, you recognize it in its more sort of processed form. But you recognize it as something called red balm, and you recognize it as like a lotion or a paste from healers.
Hmm.
But it smells the same, it looks the same. You can sort of tell that whoever makes this sort of ointment, they must use this kind of lichen because it's identical. Especially the smell; it's got a really distinctive sort of pungent aroma.
Yeah, I'll go up to the wall. I'll grab like a little bit. I'll give it a big old whiff. Like,
Sure.
yeah, this stuff is this is good. This is good stuff. And I'll also try and scrape some off or something.
Do you commonly lick the wall to determine that?
No, Yingalor did.
Well, yeah,
But,
I was asking him. I was like,
it
do you
was-
commonly lick to determine what it is?
Yeah,
There's nothing
Isaac,
more accurate than one sense of taste.
Isaac has one eyebrow raised, watching all of this.
It has a pretty unique smell, so I just go by that.
Yingalor, do you want to make a perception check for me as you're standing at sort of the entrance to this tunnel mouth?
Oh yeah, I guess I'm also like up here now.
Yeah, Norin, do you want to make a perception check for me too?
Mm-hmm.
It seems as you guys look down this tunnel mouth, you sort of see this kind of bluey green glow from that direction. Like it's kind of like a soft sort of present light. It's very faint, like you almost can't see it in the darkness. But it's sort of
You know,
a
you can-
faint blue, green, teal sort of glow. and there are more mushrooms on the walls in this direction. So you see more like growth, more like gets a bit more lush in this direction.
You know, you can
Like,
add like different colored lights in as well, Steve. Just plonk them on the map.
I will try.
You just
Weird.
add like a light, and you can put the change the
How do
settings
I-
before you place it.
Ambient.
No,
But
just
how
like
do I
add light.
place?
Oh, you just left click on the map once you've got all the settings where you want them,
Okay, yep.
and then if you want to move it or get rid of it, you just use the select tool.
Okay.
Did we go down this right path last week?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No, you didn't go down this right path. I don't think, from memory. Did that work? Do you guys see light now down there? Nope.
I don't, but it
No.
might just be through line of sight.
Yeah, I think you guys just haven't walked down it yet. So
Perhaps we should go straight first. I do not wish to interact with this dragon quite yet until we know what is behind us.
I agree.
So
I don't
just
want to
because
interact with it ever.
your characters would definitely remember, the dragon was in this direction. Why won't you draw?
Hey Steve, could you cleanse the status effects from me? Because I'm pretty sure I'm taking 66 ongoing acid damage. As soon as
Okay,
combat
let's-
starts, I'm just gonna get butt fucked.
Yeah, that's
No,
accurate.
that's fine. Yeah, it's intended.
That's supposed to happen. You were inside a cube. It's lingering
I can't
effects.
take a draw, but the tunnel that Sobex just head down, that's the direction that the dragon was in. I will clear the status effects. How do I do that again?
So in the combat tracker, you just click the more section for status effects.
Yep.
And you should see it there.
Yeah, yep.
Thank
there
you,
we go.
Mushley. But you might want to add a custom effect for like my injured foot.
Yeah, I might just
I'll find
your-
the text, or do you want me to
Okay.
we can just do it narratively if you
I'm
want.
gonna reduce your speed down to half.
Easy.
If I can do that.
I can do that for you, I
Fair
think.
enough. Yeah.
Are you starting to walk down, Sobek? Am I seeing this right?
Yeah, so as you make your way down this tunnel, Sobek, you look down and you see more sort of little humanoid footprints in the dust. And there's a fair amount of footprints. Like you can tell that there's been like a fair amount of traffic down this tunnel.
I run up and grab his shoulder and say, "We're not going down there quite yet. We want to make sure our back is clear."
So if we're
So
kind
the
of like,
tunnel
all
that-
right, can I make a quick check, like just
Yep.
on the footprints? Literally anything about the person, height, weight, the way they walk. Maybe they're wearing armor. Like, is there any like what check would that be?
I would say it's a survival check as you sort of track. It's the tracking skill.
Well, while he's checking these prints, I'm like, "Those are ours. We were here already. Why are we wasting our
I
time
tried
looking
to
at
tell
prints?"
you earlier. These are Norn's prints, clearly.
So as you made your way through the tunnels to this place, you saw a dead creature lying on the ground. You recognize the footprints as belonging to that creature. It was like a small, sort of shriveled humanoid, just like a twisted, distorted, mutated human face and mouth, sort of covered in like a black sort of ichor running down its lips, and it sort of walked with a bit of like a curled hunch, like think like Gollum from Lord of the Rings, sort of like a hopping sort of gait. You think that the footprints came from this creature or creatures similar to this?
Where was that creature? You said it was back at the start.
You made your way past it when
Like coming down from where we were.
when you came to meet up with your fellows. You would have walked past it in one of the chambers.
Okay, thank you.
Because you guys haven't got the whole map. So you can't. Yeah, okay. So you guys don't have the map that was revealed, do you? But it's in one of the chambers that you were in before. Although I can't. I don't know if I can draw it on. I could draw it on the map actually.
Oh, I was just wondering, like, at what stage of the dungeon he was in.
Up here. Actually, no, you wouldn't have made your way through that section of the room. Yeah, no, sorry, you wouldn't have recognized that, but like a small, sort of slightly deformed foot belonging to a humanoid creature, probably unarmored.
Okay, thank you.
As I'm looking at our group, who do I think is probably the sneakiest? Can I tell?
Yeah, 100%. Well, you know these people. Who do you think's the sneakiest, or who do you think is the most likely to go about undetected?
I am thinking Norin or Vic the bear.
Just to ask. Just be
Yeah,
like, who's the sneakiest?
yeah. So I just turn around and say, "Who's the sneakiest out of all of you? Who do you think? Who thinks they can sneak up this path and kind of scout it out for us? Because I don't feel comfortable just standing here waiting to be attacked."
It's
Isaac puts on his hood, walks forward. Me,
Nick,
I'm the sneakiest.
can I grab his cloak?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing.
As
Hey,
Isaac's doing that, real quick, as he flips his hood, can Sobek Sleight of Hand cast invisibility on him?
Hey, DM,
Okay.
I'm gonna sneak ahead as they're fucking around.
Okay, so
I'm gonna
you're-
show
He'd be
them
fucking
who's-
around him. All right, then I cancel my invisibility. What do you think?
You all don't notice, but Vic just sort of slips away into the darkness.
where do you
Vic, as
need me to
make it-
go?
As you make it around the corner, Vic, you see a locked stone door. You can see the padlock hole. As you make your way through, you find yourself back on this look of this plateau. So as you reach the edge there, it's quite a long drop down into the darkness. You can't really see too much. You probably see a few flaming corpses down in sort of this location.
This is the fucking dragon room, isn't it?
It is the dragon room, 100%.
At that point, I'd just be like, did he just go back towards that dragon? That little Geppetton's crazy.
I think he did, even though I clearly pointed to the way I am. But you know what? At least we know there's no dragon down there now. Maybe if he doesn't
Isaac
attack.
Isaac goes to where Store's pointing with confidence. Now that his hood is up, he feels like he's invincible.
I went to the wrong room, didn't I?
You definitely did. I agree with the brute. Let's go this way.
It's okay. You did it very sneakily.
Oh, you guys didn't see me, and I couldn't figure it out.
Okay, as Isaac makes his way down this tunnel, I don't know why.
And
but
he's hugging the wall too. Imagine him like he's really crude, but you could tell like in his mind he probably thinks he's doing a great job.
He's like stealthy as fuck in his own brain.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I'm hugging the
I don't
wall,
know
looking
why.
over the corners.
It doesn't seem to reveal this chamber for you guys, but there's a chamber at the end of the hallway, and it's covered in like this glowing sort of mushroom. It's like a bed, it's like carpeted almost in these little like small-headed, like this is like the size of a coin. These little mushroom heads, they're like blanketing the room. In the center of this sort of small chamber, it's only like 15-foot sort of circle, like arches up overhead. Water sort of dripping down from the ceiling, and this mushroom sort of blanket. There's just a large sort of bulge in the middle, like this mound that's been covered over completely by mushrooms. And all of these mushrooms, they sort of like they glow this sort of teal color. The room is sort of washed with this teal sort of soft glowing light. You are sort of
Do I recognize
on
them?
the edge.
Well-
Make a survival check for me.
Not nature.
Who are you?
Yeah, nature or survival. Nature.
I'm happy to know.
Nature. We were nature.
I mean, I'm better at survival, but feels like nature's appropriate. Oh, let's go!
Nice.
Hey. All right. So, you recognize these mushrooms. You know that they grow on commonly the site of sort of like large battles, or maybe like around mortuaries, places where there's lots of nutrients, things that are dying, rotting, decaying, like deep dark forests, lots of rainfall. But yeah, lots of protein. Like they need to feed on things, and you know that they're edible. And yeah, they grow where things die. Detrivores. Yeah, they're called grave shrooms. Well, that's the name that you know them by as anyway.
These are not a good omen, my friends. They call them grave shrooms. They grow where things die. I'd be careful in there.
Well, the last time I died, it went pretty well, so I'm not too afraid.
Go
Speak
for it,
for
little
yourself.
bear.
Yeah, Isaac
You can-
walks away.
He looks over at Store and says, "You could eat them if you want, Brute. They're quite tasty."
I walk up and just take a handful and start munching down. What do they taste like?
They taste kind of bitter, but like not unpleasantly so. Think of like a really like fresh, strong coffee. They have that kind of like very aromatic in
Ah,
your face, but like not unpleasant. They're just like a lot.
when I take a bite, I'm like, this is pretty good, actually. Maybe you guys should try it too.
I definitely like pick up a handful and just start nomming away.
Wood, but I'm made of wood.
Isaac like sniffs it, pokes at it, and then takes like a nib, kind of like nibbles on it. And then he eats it.
Yep. So yeah, like strong, sort of aromatic, sort of flavorful. Yeah.
Well, as much as these mushrooms are interesting, maybe we should keep exploring. We still haven't found this dickhead who killed all those animals.
That is true.
Oh yes, I need to put his head in his cage.
And it doesn't look like he's in this part. So, yeah, I suggest we listen to Yingalor. Let's get out of here.
Didn't you already put that poor halfling's head in the cage?
I made a promise to Yingalor that dickhead who killed all these animals' head would be in his cage, and I intend to keep my promise.
He gives you a grudging nod.
Let us continue. Who wants to take point?
Hey, you child, do you think you could find this person? And he gestures at you, Naren.
Child. How old are you?
I'm 26.
You could be my grandkid.
Oh,
Maybe not grandkid, but
my apologies.
my quick math didn't work.
Oh, I didn't mean to offend you. I just, I haven't met anyone as small as you, other than our little friends here. And he gestures at Vic.
Do I know what person we're finding? I thought we were trying to. Oh yeah, the person that's corrupting creatures or something, right?
So the
They're
last
just, they're
week,
just being slaughtered. Sorry, you go.
yeah. So last week, you guys sort of you went through someone's house. You found some paperwork that gave you two names, Soben and Kalam. You used one of their names. You used the name Soben, and that got you past this kind of magical warding and into this sort of like chapel or like reflection space. You guys found a necklace. I think Store wore the necklace, and it sort of covered him in this like icy sort of armor. You haven't seen any evidence of Kalam, of the other name, but you've seen evidence of his work of traps, of like slaughtered creatures, been a bit of tanning and stuff, and butchery, like just sort of evidence of him living here and being in this area. You haven't run into him yet, though.
What language was the notes in? Common?
Common, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll turn to who was that? Yingalor that asked. I'll turn to Yingalor and say, I can't really go off much. I can't track someone by just name. I need more to it than that. But I can take a look around for footprints, and with that, I'm gonna do a survival check on our immediate area, looking for humanoid, like more normal human footprints.
We
As
should
you
probably
sort
go
of
back up that way. This section was sealed off. It's unlikely that we'll find traces of him here.
as
If there
you
was,
make
like-
your way back, Sorry, go on.
There you go. Sorry.
As you make your way back up this this narrow, it's like a 5 foot wide sort of natural pathway. You get to the point where the broken sort of stone wall was, and you make your way back into the chapel. And from that point onwards, everything looks a bit more like constructed. Like the floor is like sort of paved with these natural sort of stone flagstones. The walls are all sort of hewn out of like a light coloured stone, like a soft white sort of marble. And these pillars are sort of carved from the same soft marble. Yeah. What do you guys want to do? Where you guys gonna go?
I point at the middle pedestal and I say that's where I got this fancy ice armor. It's a little broken right now, but as you heard, there's a monster in the lake.
I'm gonna go around that pedestal and do the survival check around there then. But I've
Okay,
also, for some reason, I can't move my character anymore.
Got stuck. How about now?
No,
That
just give
work?
me like an opaque image of him. Not letting me actually move him.
Same.
Maybe it's desynced.
Oh, so you guys are definitely
Oh,
moving
there we
a
go.
lot.
Are you
I got
good? Everyone's in the chapel.
I can move him.
Is there a way of releasing sort of Aban to Sobek's control? Do you know, Jack?
Not that I've found.
Okay, cool. I'll bring Aban up whenever you want him to do stuff.
Are you still stuck, Vic?
Yes.
When he gets stuck in the wall like that, you better just to delete him from the map and then put him back on from the combat tracker.
Okay.
Yeah. Try not to like throw yourself into walls.
Okay.
So as you do that, I stand up near the entrance and I look at Vic and I say, "So where was this fake wall you talked about? Will you lead us there?"
It was this way, and DM. I have a 16,
So-
and I would remember, but I do not.
Okay, so you guys remember when you fought the gelatinous cube? At the very moment that you guys encountered the gelatinous cube, it was right then that that Vic noticed like a section of wall that wasn't quite right. So as you move down as you keep going down this tunnel, you make your way through a room with barrels. Open that.
Here.
Oh. Open sesame. It seems to have shut all these doors. Yeah, so in this room, there was the corpse of this kind of wretched, twisted, distorted creature on the floor.
Some poor headless
Yeah.
halfling.
Smells bad. And a headless halfling. So as you make your way into this room, you see that a section of this cobblestone wall is just completely flat, and it's slightly the wrong color. You don't see any of the joints in between the bricks, none of the mortar or the seams. It looks just wrong for some reason. What do you guys want to do?
What do I need to roll to like figure out if this is a trick door or a trap door or?
You can make an investigation, or you can just sort of narrate what you want your character to be doing.
I like I'd just
lock
like to-
picks. But go ahead, Olmec.
I just like to walk up to it and start like banging away at this section of wall that he's gestured to, like just with my fist, just seeing like trying to.
The second you
Say again?
touch it with your, you realize that it's a little bit stretchy. It's sort of like soft. It's kind of like flexible. And as you bang it, a little bit of paint sort of flakes off it. And the part where the paint flaked off, you can recognize sort of the grain of leather. You think that it's a piece of leather that's been stretched across this opening and painted.
What sort of sick use of creatures' hides has this guy been up to? I sort of have a look around for a way that I could like pull it across.
Yeah, you sort of you try and grab it, but make a strength check for me.
Oh boy.
Norin had something to say.
Yeah,
No.
Norin, what's up?
I just wanted to go up to the dead halfling and see if it's anyone I knew.
Okay. Yeah, make a investigation check with disadvantage as his head has been lopped off.
Oh shit!
As
I was too quick on it.
as he
7.
walk, walks up to this halfling, I say, sorry about that. I thought that was the hunter, and see, I made a promise to Yingalor that I'd bring him his head.
Yeah, so you don't recognize him like from sight, even though you've interacted with lots of. I'm assuming you've interacted with lots of other halflings in your time, and you know many halfling families. You don't recognize him by his features, or you don't recognize anything about his facial configuration, but you do recognize a ring, a family that you've heard of, a fairly famous family, a family crest ring that you can take if you like.
That-
It's just a small brass ring with a sort of signet, and you recognize the Widdershins family.
Okay, one moment.
I point up towards the entrance of how we got in here, and I say his head's up in there in the bedroom. If you want to get a better look at who he is.
I will do that in just 1 second.
I don't recommend doing it right now. We have this wall we need to get through. And
while you're in this room, I think you guys I might not have described it very well before, but in the corner of this room there is a wooden door that's been spiked shut. So sort of like steel pegs have been like hammered in around the door, sort of preventing it to be opened. The map doesn't make it very clear, but it's just there. I don't know why drawing mode doesn't work at the moment.
What was the crest, the family name?
Widdershins.
Okay, thank you.
So you guys can do drawing mode, but I can't. That's not fair. Actually. Nah, it's still not working. Oh, but yeah, there's a spiked door sort of directly below you, and this the square section is what you can see, a small room. You got Sobek, Vic, Yingalor. Yingalor, there's a door behind you too. Just a plain wooden iron banded door. Yeah, what are you guys doing?
Oh, I think Vic's next.
Vic?
Yeah, he had red pony.
Yep, Vic.
I would like to take Papa and kind of notch out a big enough space for me to kind of loop in and get through quietly. And as you see me do it, you notice that my daggers don't really like. I look proficient with it, but they don't fit my fucking hands right anymore.
Yeah, okay. Yep. So as you take your dagger out and you push it into this leather, it's quite taut, and it kind of like it's kind of like under a little bit of tension. So as you pierce the skin, it sort of like pulls back, like you're like cutting into a trampoline or a drum skin. And there's a small hole, and you can squeeze through it if you like.
I'm gonna do it quietly.
Yep.
I think you have to open the door for me.
Yep, I'm just doing that.
You might want to remove. Are you still in mask mode at all, Steve?
No, I think mask is off now. Remove.
Okay.
Yeah, it just that work. Yep. Yeah, so can you make your way through now? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's accessible now.
Wait. Yeah, that's it. I think we just need to unfuck that wall. Yep. Cool.
I think it's down.
What are you doing?
Down here,
Now we
dude.
can see into rooms though we're not supposed to. Like I can see into this
Oh.
room.
I'm not looking. I'm not looking.
It's okay. I'm about to open the door anyways.
I moved some walls around, and I think I just flicked you over to the other side of the wall. All right. How's that? Is that better now? Like, can you make your way down the tunnel? Nope.
How many rooms am I supposed to see? I seem like, well, I won't say anything, but how many paths should I see?
It should just be one tunnel heading down and around.
Okay, so I definitely seen some shit I shouldn't.
All right. Okay, so you make your way. This tunnel sort of heads around the corner about 20 feet, and then it branches left and right. And 30 feet down the end of the tunnel, you see sort of this wretched sort of pile or mound, like a large sort of mound of fur, and it's sort of bristled with sort of spear handles, like arrow shafts that have been snapped off. You can see sort of bones sort of protruding from this sort of pile of furs, but you definitely smell like death and decay and like rot. In the corner behind this sort of figure, you see like a ladder leading upwards. Oh, just before you approach, you see this thing move very slightly. Make a stealth check for me, please, Vic.
Yeah. Please.
Okay, this thing sort of just like grumbles and sort of shuffles its weight, but it doesn't seem to have noticed you.
Can I walk back quietly? And
Sure, the tunnel continues around to your left too. It sort of opens up as you go around the corner. It doesn't seem to, like, the lighting doesn't seem to like flow around the corners. It's like direct lines, but I think you would sort of know that this tunnel sort of above you continues around the corner.
And there's a ladder. Okay, all right.
There's a ladder on the far side of this mound of fur.
Where's the beast? Over in the fur area? Over.
I'll put this token on the map now so you can see.
Okay.
I'll just change the name in 1 second.
Yo, who's playing these sounds, bro? I don't do this.
If you find the image in that creature's like stat block, Steve, you can just drag it onto Vic's face if it's got one. Never mind.
I haven't put a.
It's just name fucking fur pile.
That's alright.
Yeah.
If you got it from the monster manual, it'll have an image, but if not, no stress.
No, it's not what it's named, but that's what you can see so far.
Fuck. Alright, I'm gonna walk back quietly. We have movement in 2 tunnels and a ladder down this way. There's definitely something alive down there. I'm gonna put my finger over my mouth. Well, my wooden paw.
So while he did all that, Norn's not here right now, but I look at Nora and Isaac and I say, "Cover me, and get your weapons ready." And I yank on this door and try to get it open, or like move the spikes, whatever I have to do to get this door open.
Yeah, so you probably have to pull these spikes out first. Make a strength check for me. If you want to use some kind of item or tool to give you an advantage to sort of grab these spikes, have you got anything for that?
I don't think so. Let me check real quick.
Okay, so if you don't, make a strength check with disadvantage as you try and grab on and sort of wiggle these spikes out of the timber.
I have a shovel.
A shovel, yeah, you could use that. That'll
Oh.
just be a strength check then.
I'll bet then.
Yingalor, did you want to do something? Say something?
5.
Okay, so you wedge your shovel in the side and you kind of like yank on it and you're trying to use it like a crowbar, but it sort of just bends the tip of your shovel a little bit. And this door stays sort of stuck tight. Yingalor, did you want to do something? No?
I think he's muted.
Sorry, I thought I wasn't muted. When Vic came back, I'd just be like, "I'm not going first. If you found something dangerous, where's one of the big scary guys? Go ahead of us. I'll heal you if you get hurt, but we should proceed with caution."
All right, as you guys are talking and whatnot, are you trying to disguise your voices or are you just talking out loud? You're trying to, like, now that there's this hole cut in this leather wall, are you speaking softly or are you just talking?
I wouldn't probably have thought to lower my voice, but I would have like I'd be ready for any sounds that I might hear.
All right. You don't
I'm on
you
high
don't-
alert essentially.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. What are you guys doing? So, Store, you weren't able to pop this door open. Did you want to try anything else, or give up on the door, or what do you want to do?
Can I just kick this door open? Like, can I just give it a good? What's it made out of? I should ask first.
It's timber. It's made out of timber.
Oh, I just give this door a good mighty kick then.
All right, make another strength check for me.
19.
As you kick this door down, it sort of flies back off its hinges, and you see yourself in this like dusty kind of storeroom. As you make your way into the room a little bit, you see there's like a kind of there's 3 kind of crates up against the corner. They kind of look like cargo crates, and they've got nailed on lids. But they're kind of 3 foot by sort of 5 foot and 2 foot deep.
So, refresh my memory real quick. We haven't ran into any real serious traps in here, correct?
I don't think you have. No.
All right. I just start opening these crates then and look for anything valuable. Like if it's just useless junk, I don't care. But
Yeah, so it's full. The first one that you pop open is filled with crossbow bolts. The second one that you pop open is filled with scrolls. Like they seem to be made of like velium, like a thin, stretched deer skin sort of scroll. And they look very finely made. Like they look like they would actually fetch a reasonable price. And the third one is empty.
I give a shout back. I say I have something in here. Scrolls and crossbow bolts. Does anybody need anything? I take 2 scrolls also.
Yeah, so they're actually blank, but they're of a very high quality, and you feel like you would actually sell them for a reasonable price if you sold them.
I'll
And you said they're
take
deer skin? Sorry.
Yeah, velium, so like a very fine, stretched, scraped, soft, like deer skin.
How much do they weigh?
Let's say 10 of them weighs a pound.
Then I'll just take 10. Keep it simple.
Yeah, cool. So there's 20 of these empty scrolls in this crate.
Go ahead, Vic.
take the bolts. I may be looking for a crossbow soon.
Yeah, so there's 40 crossbow bolts sitting in this container.
I'm gonna look back at Norin. Norin, do you prefer a crossbow?
Personally, no. I prefer the bow.
Yeah,
So-
I'll put 40 bolts in my bag then.
What did you find there, Vic? Anything interesting in the hole?
We have to keep our voices down. There's something moving back there, and it does not sound like it's our friend.
Go kill it.
I'm I'm stronger than I used to be, but I'm not. I haven't adapted to my body very well yet.
I just kind of look around the rest of the party. Do any of them look like they're gonna start moving towards this thing?
No one seems to have made any movement in that direction. What do you guys want to do?
I'm kind of hanging out by the door, keeping an eye on it, and sort of like waiting for someone to lead the way.
I'm waiting for it to
Isaac's-
come to us.
Isaac's
As you-
looking at the
as you-
bear, just kind of mean mugging him.
Does
Then he
What's
walks
a-
away.
I'm gonna when we get hold on. I need to get in the habit of this.
Yeah, go on, Vic.
Does anybody have a crossbow here?
No.
Are you saying you picked up bolts without any way to use them?
Yeah. I might pick one up in town, but I thought one of us had picked up a crossbow on one of our outings.
The store just kind of scratches his head and says, "I guess Yingolor is right. You are quite young."
Isaac's not
Sobek will
looking at
take
you.
the light crossbow from his pack and just kind of wave it at the price.
It's always money with you, isn't it?
All right, so
How much?
as you haggle and talk in this room beyond, you hear a kind of shifting, scraping noise. And make a perception check for me, guys. Make a group perception check as you talk.
You can actually do that on your side if you want, Grish. If you go to the
Okay.
party sheet, you
Yep.
can set a DC. Just do like a group check, and then you can either reveal it to us or not.
Yeah. So
You see that?
perception. So I just double click on that thing.
Yep.
All right.
And if you middle mouse button click any of those rolls, it'll reveal it to us as well. I realized that the other day.
Yep. Okay. Cool. All right. So you guys hear this thing.
It's coming.
You hear this thing uncurling and sort of limber up. It's heard you sort of talking and haggling, and it's made its way
Can
to you.
I
You
stop
can
you
hear
right
it
there?
sort of scraping. Yep, go on.
So I would have, if I can, I'd move here and have a javelin ready to throw as soon as I can see it.
So what you're actually physically looking at is there's a wall that you know to be leather. If you guys want to just position for 2 seconds, and then I will lock movement. Everyone happy where they are?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right. So you're looking at this wall. It's a small sort of hole cut in it that Vic has cut and sort of clambered through. Not much light gets through it, but beyond the hole on the other side, you see movement, and you know this thing is right. Everyone roll initiative for me, please.
Those are DM hacks. There's no way he got a 22.
What's that, sir?
I was just talking BS because he got a 22.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Might be the first
Okay.
time I'm not the one going first.
All right. Sobek is your eyes sort of flick around, and you hear this thing on the other side of the wall, and you don't hear it breathing. You just hear it moving. You hear it sort of you hear something scraping along the sides of the tunnel. On the far side of this tunnel, it's like bare rock, bare stone. What would you like to do?
With my new eye, can I see its life force by chance, like through the leather?
So you're looking. So you're in the next room. You
I was-
don't really.
I was trying to
want
position myself so that I can see through the doorway right at the opening. Do you see where I'm at? Is that okay?
All right. So your new eye, just so I'm clear, it picks up living things. So as
It's
you
like a
look
life sense. It's like life sense.
yeah, so as you look at Isaac, you see him sort of glowing with this sort of green, warm light. As you look at Nora, and the same sort of green, warm light. Vic, he hasn't got as much, but he still has some of that same warm green light. As you look through the direction of this creature, you don't see that light. You see like a brown kind of malevolent sort of looking glow, but it's definitely not the same as the glow that you see from Isaac, Nora, and Vic. Does that answer your question?
Thank you. Yep, thank you. That's perfect. I will ready a Eldritch Blast. Like seeing. Could I move to there and still have line of sight through the doorway as soon as it comes through to whip it with a Eldritch Blast?
Yeah, you can sort of maneuver. Yep.
Alright, thank you. And then for my bonus action, same thing for a Bon. I want him to be sitting like just above, ready to spike anything that comes through.
Yep. So he's just outside the doorway?
Like literally just above as they walk through. I want him to
Oh,
like
yeah.
spike down.
Yep. So he's like waiting in ambush. Yep, cool. Alright, no worries. Alright. after Sobek is Store. Store, what would you like to do?
So he's just standing there, like he's not trying to get through this wall or anything.
It's not here. Like you guys are. You've just acted before him. Like he hasn't had a chance to get through the wall. He's not up to the wall. But you hear him in the tunnel beyond. He's sort of scraping his way in the direction of the door.
I can throw a javelin right here, right? Or is that too short of a distance and we're indoors and I can't really get it?
No, you probably can. It's a difficult throw because you're aiming through like a small hole into the next room. You can kind of make out him a little bit.
I would wait until he actually like breaches this wall.
Yeah, cool.
But
he's ready in action if you like.
Yeah, so I ready the action, and I also have my battle axe just kind of sitting on the wall next to me, just so I can just grab it real quick, just in case, type of thing.
Yeah. So you guys are just waiting. You're just waiting to fucking drop the hammer. All right, Noran, you're up. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm just gonna ready in action also.
Yep.
But Isaac, how tall are you?
6'3".
Okay, I'm gonna like. I'm basically just gonna like sit behind him, and yeah, use him as meat shield.
you guys kind of maneuver, so you're like, you have all like a line of sight. You're all just sort of arranged. You're like taking up firing position, sort of thing, waiting for this to like punch through. Yinglaw, you're up next.
I'd like to just sneak forward, try to get a peek at this creature, and see if I recognize it.
Yep.
Or if I might be able to. Yeah. I just want to get a better look at it if possible.
Yep.
Without letting it get too close to me.
Okay, so it's standing as you put your head up to the hole. You can see it's standing, probably 10 foot back from the hole. I'm just going to go ahead and change its name. So you look and you see. That changes its name for it. You see an undead bear. You see this sort of mottled, grisly, flesh falling off, fur sort of sagging over its sort of stretched out bones, rotting flesh, sort of fly blown maggots dripping off it. Arrows, spears sticking out of its side. This huge sort of lumbering hulk of a once alive creature on the other side of the hole, and it sort of snarls at you as you stick your head through the hole.
I'd like to just sit, yell at it. What have they done to you? And see if it responds to me in any way.
As you look into its one eyeball, the other one sort of rotten and fallen out. It doesn't sort of register. It doesn't seem to have understood you per se.
We'll put you out of your misery, and I'd like to use Thorn Whip. Oh, hang on, no, I don't have Thorn Whip. I didn't choose it. Never mind. I'll just back up.
Yep.
And just sort of stay safe, I think. Yeah. For now, I think I'm just gonna wait.
Yep. Okay. Next up is Vic. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna get my bow out and move over this way. As soon as he breaches, I'm gonna shoot him. Once he hits store, once he's within 5 feet of store, I'm gonna fire.
Yeah, cool. All right. And now Isaac, what would you like to do? So you guys are totally making an ambush for this thing. This thing is just slowly sort of lumbering towards you, and you guys are set up, ready and wait. Is that correct?
Yeah, out of character, I wanted to say, Vic, what did you just say you did on your turn? I spaced out. I was looking at sounds.
I'm gonna move. I move 10 feet up, and as soon as that bad boy runs up the store, and I think I got a good shot when he's distracted, I'm gonna fire.
All right. Isaac is gonna. It's my turn, so I'm gonna gonna kind of move a little bit to the side, so I'm kind of covering Norin and Sobek, and I have a line of sight more direct and not directly behind Vic.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna ready my spear, so if if whatever charges through there shows any hostile intent, I'm just gonna sink my spear into it with a throw.
Yeah. Okay. All
That's
right.
my turn.
This thing, it punches through this timber wall. This leather wall. It just comes up to it and it just pushes its powerful back legs and it just forces its head through the hole, and the leather sort of just tears and rips. If you guys want to take your ready actions, I think first up would probably be a barn, because a barn's right there. So you can't control him, so I've got to attack for a barn. Yeah.
Yes, please. And it's kind of up to you what you want to
Yeah.
do.
I don't know how to like put him, like submit control over to him, but I'll look into that. So as you've ordered, a barn sort of. Do you want him to use his bite or his sting attack?
I would always say sting, but again, that's kind of you're playing as a bot. Like it's up to you. But like it's how good are my commands? I think.
Yeah. So a barn sort of lashes down with its pointy tail, and it cups this thing right in the neck. It does damage this thing. You can see fur falling off, but the poison just sort of drips out of the wound, and it doesn't really have the usual effect that it would on its bear. But it has damaged it with this sting attack. All right, next up, so we'll go down. So everyone has ready actions, so I'm going to go down the list. So Beck, do you want to take your ready action first?
That's gonna feel good actually getting to cast without a disadvantage.
Yeah. Alright, so this eldritch energy sort of crackles out of you, arches, streaks through this doorway, and smacks into this bear. Sort of blasting a patch of fur off you. You see it kind of roar up and hiss in pain. Next up, Store, would you like to throw your javelin, I think you said?
Yes, but just real quick, did I get my javelins back from that giant slimy cube? Or were they gone forever because they were inside of them?
So one of them I think was destroyed. One of them, you had two, yeah?
Yeah, I threw 2 into it.
Yeah, I think one of them got eaten up because it just sort of got left in there for too long. But towards the end, where it was falling apart, it went through and you managed to grab it and it wasn't too damaged.
Alright, yeah, so I just throw one of my javelins at this thing.
Yep. Make an attack roll. Alright, you smack into this thing, roll for damage. Alright, you pierce this thing's flank, and you see one more of these sort of wooden sort of handles sticking out of its side. It's looking like a pincushion at this point. Alright, Norin, you're up.
Alright. I'm also just going to shoot at it.
Yep.
Not do anything too fancy.
Yeah, so you line up and you pull back on this bow and you loose this arrow and it arches into its, hit it right in the base of the neck. Roll for damage. It sort of punches into bone and splinters of bone sort of fly off.
Nice.
Sorry,
That'll be
guys,
my turn.
just on a, how do I get into Sirenscape again? It seems to have not worked for me.
Into Sirenscape?
Yeah,
get
it's
in?
sort of hasn't come up for me.
All I did was double click the application. It saved. Oh.
I think because we all joined at the same time as well, like it struggle street. There we go.
Yeah.
Was my shit muted the whole time?
Unfortunately.
What a fucking meme, bro. What a meme.
You were talking the whole time.
I was talking shit. That's important.
Damn. No, that's important. We need to hear those.
I'm roughing it today. Fucking old man gave me COVID.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's how it
I think
works.
it's one of those space diseases. You didn't take the decontamination.
Yeah, I fucking decompressed too fast getting on the Capitol.
Yeah.
Are they
Yeah, can't-
javelins that? Oh, go ahead, Omeg.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I can't manipulate windows right now for some reason, and I can't. Oh, I can zoom in and out of the map, but I can't move the map.
I can't load my character.
Yeah, it's probably gonna take a second. Don't worry, I'll just edit this out. It will look good for the people.
Yeah, my dice tower just popped.
We're a simple home game.
You should edit out all the uhs, breaths, lights, and anything that's like.
Absolutely fucking not. This isn't my career.
It is kind of fun though, like to just throw a podcast on and just kind of literally hit the same 3 little rhythms over and over and over, just cutting out little.
When we do our skit, bro, that's something I can actually edit and make look good. What the fuck is this?
I was thinking about getting a lizard mask around Halloween, like Halloween sales, because there's gonna be a bunch of stuff like on the internet. I need a big lizard mask I can wear,
Hilarious.
like just those thin little crappy ones that I can flop around.
Do you have full functionality at the moment, Steve? Because I still don't. Everything's working for you.
For me.
In that case,
Move.
if you want to just use my character sheet to cast Fairy Fire,
Yeah, sure.
oh, actually, I might be able to.
Mine just popped.
Bob. So
Yeah, populated.
very
So just
far.
make. I think it's a deck save for him. So if you want to just make the deck save,
Okay.
it's a
Do I-
15
can I-
DC.
Can I drag this spell across? Is that?
I have custom made. I haven't put in the save yet. I can do it right now, actually. I've given the.
I'm
I
gonna
put
just
the
make-
effect in.
Let's go. I'll just make him make the save.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you send the map back to the battle map?
Yeah, sure. Yep. That work?
You can also find it in images on the right and Forest Hut.
Or you
Right,
can go to
right.
your character sheet and hit find on map. That's probably the easiest way.
Right. Hmm.
Yep.
Look at
Okay,
us.
so
Look at us knowing how to use this.
Almost professionals.
yeah.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
I'm gonna have to edit all this out, boys.
With the dex.
Sorry,
with the
sorry.
dex-
So there's the
Shocking.
effect on my character sheet now. You should be able to drag it onto him.
I just did it manually.
Yeah, sweet.
So what did you say the DC was, bro?
15.
Okay, so he passes that. So what does that mean?
So essentially, I start like whispering into like a seed that I'm carrying, and shoot it forward, and like glowing lights kind of like light up. It's like spores, like these glowing spores. They land all over the place, but he somehow manages to avoid being covered in them. He sort of like
Yeah.
slips out of the way and sort of like bats them off of him, and so he's not affected. But a barn probably needs to make the save too, actually, because it's an AOE.
Okay. So a barn. Dex save.
Just to be clear, you whispered into a seed and then spores started sprouting out of
Pretty
areas?
much.
That's
Yeah.
creepy.
That's
A barn seems to have gotten it away too. He's pretty nimble.
I haven't described my focus, but I think my focus is going to be like a crystal with like a small like seed that like changes into a sprout at times. It's like this seed preserved in some sort of glowing crystal. And as I cast, you can see like the plant inside sort of shifting and growing and then regressing in its growth.
Okay.
That's my
Very
spellcasting
fine.
focus. Anyway, sorry, I'm done. I'll maybe back up a little bit into this other room. I can't. I'm just gonna rejoin because I think I'm bugged. But um, you can go to the next person.
Okay, so after Yingler, Vic, do you want to take your ready action?
Yeah, if I seen this thing burst through, whether it's within 15 or 5 feet of the store or not, I'm just gonna lob at him.
Yep, go nuts.
17 to hit.
Hits.
Ugh. 6.
I don't know why it's dying, because he's got more hit points than that.
I mean, we ganked it pretty hard.
Yeah.
Easy game.
It shouldn't be, but alright, we'll just roll with that. Alright, so what did you actually do? How did you attack this thing?
I peeked through the door as soon as I seen it.
But,
You know.
did you throw something at it?
Oh, I shot it with a bow and arrow, brother.
Okay, as you line up this arrow, you fire through it, and it hits a spearhead in this thing, and it just kind of splinters out, and it just sort of blows this thing apart. This thing's spine just sort of cracks, and this shattering sort of bone splintering noise blows out, and this thing sort of just drops to the floor and sort of twitches a little.
Yeah.
You've destroyed this undead creature, and it's now lying, its pelt sort of mildewing on the floor in front of you.
Is my arrow retrievable by chance?
Yeah, you can retrieve your arrow. Store, did you want to say something?
Yeah. Well, first thing, can I retrieve my javelin? And then is there more javelins in this? Can I like refill my javelins?
There are like parts of spears, but they've all, as this thing sort of moved around the tunnel, it sort of snapped the shafts off, so they're fairly short. So like you can have like a half a javelin, but it's not really fully functional. It's not like a proper weapon anymore. It's just sort of like the tip of a weapon.
All right, that's fine. And it's undead, so its pelt's pretty screwed then, huh?
It's like apart from being like pierced with like all these like arrows and broken spears, like it's pretty rotten and like mildewing and stinking. So as you like as you know about leather, like if you keep it like dry and like salted and stuff, it'll be pretty good. But if you don't, then it can rot because it's a natural product. And this thing is rotten.
What about the ears?
Yeah, you can take its ears if you like.
Not quite yet, but I will when Yingalor's not looking. I'll take an ear.
Sure. So Yingalor, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to like sort of stagger forward as I see it go down and like kind of just put my hands upon its body and just be like, "We'll make them pay for what they've done to you."
Yeah. So you say that. Vic, did you want to do anything? Say anything?
I want to walk up to Sobek and Isaac and do either of you have crossbows? Isaac, I know you found one on your last outing. I'd be interested in purchasing it.
I don't know how I feel about giving weapons to such an unsettling character as yourself.
I'm gonna brandish Papa. I already have weapons. It doesn't change anything.
So
That
we'll
wasn't
speak
up to
again.
me. This is my choice to make. Maybe if I trusted you, but at this moment, you will get nothing from me. And then I'll look away.
I'll return the favor later, don't worry. Sobek, you have a crossbow?
So Bekogan will kind of wiggle the light crossbow from his pack and start to gesture it, but then pull it back, only on account that we are companions, yes?
Here. You can destroy that ring and break your own curse, and I won't say a word about it. Friend,
Then we are even. And he'll toss him the crossbow.
I want the bolts too, fucker.
Let me make sure I have some.
He also just picked up like fucking 40.
Yeah, but the more the merrier. I'm gonna machine gun Kelly this shit.
Just imagine a little bear walking around with like Rambo style bolts.
2 bandoliers.
It would like knock you off balance just carrying that many. You like get tapped and you just like fall backwards.
And
I'm
bolts
imagining
shoot
that-
out of him.
Yep.
As like a plush creature, you could just like sort of stick them in some excess fluff.
No, I got a quiver with my short bow, so I'm just stuffing them all in my fucking quiver.
They're not in my pack, so I don't know what I did with them.
No, you're fine. You probably used them. I will take the crossbow.
40 is more than enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill a lot of shit. That's it for me. Thank you.
Okay, what are you guys doing?
Assuming nobody else does anything else, I'm gonna walk up and kind of just peer through here with the Ingalore and see what we see.
Yeah, so as you make your way around this sort of tunnel, it sort of winds around to the left, and you see the opening where you originally saw the bear, and there's a ladder that sort of climbs upwards.
This left section.
This left section sort of disappears around the corner, but immediately in front of you, I'll just draw it on here. There's a ladder just here.
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out where it went. Should I go up the ladder, Ingalore, see where it leads out?
You can see it sort of goes upwards, let's say like 40 feet, and you can see it sort of goes around the corner, it sort of flattens out, and you can't see up to the next sort of landing.
I think if anyone's going to lead the way, it ought to be you. You sure can take a beating, and I'll be there to heal you if you get damaged.
What, does this ladder look like it's gonna break if I start climbing up it, or does it look pretty sturdy?
Make an investigation check for me. Well, what are you like? The way that I prefer to do these like skill checks is you can trust that your character knows their job, which is essentially adventuring, exploring dangerous spaces, and in that case, I'll just ask for a check. Or you can narrate what your character is actually doing. So, if let's say in this instance, if Store goes up and he chips away at the wood, he makes sure it's not rotten, he looks, he shakes it, makes sure it's secured to the wall, then I'll just narrate what I think will happen in that situation. You can sort of establish whether or not it's safe based on that. Otherwise, you can rely on your character and you can make your check. Whichever one.
You'd probably walk up and just give it like a light shake, nothing to like try to like move it or anything, and then put some of his weight on the beams and go up slowly and make sure that he's not just gonna fall through.
Yeah, so as he shakes this thing, it moves around a lot. Like there's a lot of flex in this thing. He puts some of his weight on, and it sort of sags a little bit. Like it doesn't feel good. Just even putting his foot on the first sort of rung, the second rung, it's very flexible. Like it doesn't make him feel good at all. It doesn't feel confident.
So it feels like it's weight, not necessarily just crap wood.
It's probably a bit of both. Like this is an old ladder. You can see it's a bit mildewy, and it's been in this cave for a long time. It doesn't seem real safe.
Norin!
Here, help. Let me help. And I pull out the rope that I found the other day, which seems to be able to like manipulate itself. Is there like an open space at the top of the ladder?
There is, yeah. It sort of flattens out onto like a small platform, and there's like a little handrail you can see from down here.
So is there something up the top that I think I might be able to secure a rope to?
You think you'll be able to secure it to one of the posts of the handrail?
Yeah.
You want to try and fling this thing up? It doesn't have sort of like it's not going to just levitate up there and wrap this thing around there. If you hit this sort of post, it'll be able to wrap around and sort of grab onto it, but you still have to be able to get it, almost all the way there.
It's not gonna snake its way up the ladder.
It's not fully like autonomous. Like it's not like a living creature. It just has a little bit of sort of magical intel. It's got the ability to sort of tie itself in knots and move around a little bit, but it can't just like creep up like a snake.
I make a look up. I sort of look up and I'm like, physical acts of prowess have never been my strong suit. I sort of hand the rope to Norin and I say, maybe you'd be better suited to this task.
Yep, you can pass it off if you like. Isaac, did you want to say something?
Why don't we just throw Norin up there? I'm sure I could throw his weight to the top, then he can dangle
It's
the.
like 40 or 50 feet. Like it's a long way.
Okay, I did not say that. Okay, what I did say though, what I did say. Here, Ingalor, let me see that rope.
The ladder's a bit flimsy.
Sure. Go ahead, but I thought he looked a bit more well suited to doing something so skillful.
Hmm. Well, this height is nothing to mess around with. Do you really think this ranger of ours has the strength to throw it all the way up there?
I'll
His
let you decide that. I
arms
just hand
aren't
you the
quite
rope.
as long.
I just put the rope in your hands and I said, I'll let you make your decision.
In my hands or Norin?
In Isaac's.
Okay, so I'm gonna give it a try. I wanna toss the rope. So
Make a dex check, please.
Okay. You said dex check. Okay.
Dex check.
I'm gonna move out of the way in case he eats shit. Yeah.
All right. You flick this thing up, and it kind of just sort of clatters against the wall. As you look up in the darkness, this flitting creature just sort of flies in and grabs the end of the rope and holds it in his mouth, and he climbs it up and he puts it next to the post. And at this stage, the rope just sort of ties itself onto this post in this neat sort of bow, and it's attached to the thing. And Aban just sort of perches on top of the post and looks down at you, and he goes, "Wah!"
That's clutch.
Bork, bork.
What a polite creature.
He's
So
trained
who wants
well,
to go
yes.
first?
Do you want me to go first, or should we send Sobek since he can see what's up
No.
there?
The lightest of us should go first, and the heaviest should go last. We don't want the rope to snap on us before everyone else has a chance to climb up.
Go ahead.
So how are we doing light? Is it just like assumed we all have torches and shit?
At the moment, yeah, that's a good question. How are you guys doing light? What are you doing for light?
I'm not using any light. I just threw a rope.
Neither am I.
I don't have a torch.
So no one's got a torch?
No.
I thought
So-
Yingalor was holding our torch.
Turn the lights out.
Isaac,
Fuck 'em.
I'm
I can
not
actually
gonna.
do that.
I didn't have a
Like-
torch. I didn't have one. I threw a rope.
At any
As
point,
he
if it's
hands.
on a torch,
I mean-
Sobek would pull out a torch and just press the digitation it on.
Norin, you should go first since you seem pretty light. Maybe
So
the
just
bear.
so I can get this lighting effect right. So Nora, have you got dark vision?
No.
No dark vision.
No.
Isaac,
And I am
have
also
you-
not using a torch.
Okay, Sobek has dark vision.
Negative.
No, he doesn't have dark vision. Okay, so he doesn't have a light either. Yingalor, you don't have a light.
He's
not.
AFK.
He's not here right now. But last session he was the one carrying our torch. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if anybody can back me up on that.
Okay, I'll put a torch on Yingalor for the minute.
Oh, this makes it so much harder.
But has anyone who has dark vision?
Vic does.
Just Vic and Ying. Just
A
Vic.
bond does.
Aban does. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I thought we had one more person with dark vision.
I look at Sobek and I say, I hear wizards can cast a spell that has a permanent light to it. Can you do that?
It'll kind of make a flutter of sparks in his hand, and just as it pitters out a puff of smoke. I am afraid not.
We need to get a wizard for situations like this.
So you know that in town there is a torchbearers guild. It's a fledgling guild. There's only 2 members so far, but there's a society of assistants that can be hired to hold a torch.
Really?
That sounds great. Having 2 little meat shields between us and the enemy.
Well, you don't want that.
Then we'd have no one to hold our torch.
Yeah.
I love the visual imagery of that. You send this guy out with the only light source. He then gets just pummeled,
Just
destroyed,
gets clubbed,
and then the light goes out.
decapitated.
You see for 2 seconds as the stump of his neck spurts blood out, and then just nothing, darkness.
Then we could just put the torch in his stop, and he'll be all right.
And can we tie a torch to a bond?
I can see if he could carry one if the DM is so
I'll
willing.
have a look at his stat block.
If we could just put it on his tail.
Yeah, then he can be a Charmander.
All right,
If I
so
actually knew
what do you-
light, I'd like cast it on him.
I think you can only do it to objects.
Oh, give him a necklace.
he's tiny, so he would have a lot of difficulty flying with this torch. I mean, you probably could. You could probably hump it and like move slowly with it.
I wouldn't ask that of him if it's going to be a.
I have
quite
a
difficult task.
suggestion.
Yeah, but he's like pretty much the same size as this torch, so he'd move very slowly with it.
Actually, I don't want to talk out of game, but I do have an idea.
So you guys are standing at the base of this sort of vertical shaft. This rope is secured up around the top. Yingalor is holding your light source. What would you guys like to do?
I want to talk. I want to say,
Yep.
Norin, although the bear is definitely lighter than you, I don't trust him going first. So I suggest you should go first, and then the bear. Make sure he doesn't cut the rope after him. And then we could do an order based on weight after that.
I'm gonna wink at Norn and look over at Isaac. Oh, you'll give me an easy target first. How gracious.
Isaac, yeah, Isaac looks annoyed, but he doesn't say anything.
I give the bear a look and say, I'm trying to trust you, friend, but you're making it more and more difficult by the day.
Oh, am I winking with my right eye?
So
Now I look foolish.
So I suggest I'm like gesturing Norin, like please.
I have no problem with going first, but I'm assuming it's pitch black up there. I'll need some way to see.
So you can see just sort of the top of. You can see just sort of the edge, and then it's dark.
Maybe once you get up top, you could light a torch for us, so we could see. We need someone to go first to bring the light there in the first place.
Okay.
By the looks of it, it seems like you can see just enough to climb to the top. And then after that, lighting a torch should be no problem. It would help the rest of us out too.
All right. Here's what I'll do. I'll go up. I'll like start like putting my bow away and like preparing myself and whatnot. I'm gonna climb up. I'll light a torch. If there is anything that I don't like up there or that I cannot handle on my own, I'm going to jump down, and I want Store and Isaac to catch me.
I'll catch you,
Okay.
friend.
You're
Sure,
climbing
you-
halfway up the rope, then lighting a torch. Is that what you want to do?
No, I want to get. I assume I can't climb. It's a rope without like any knots or anything in it, so I assume I
Yeah,
need
it's a-
all four limbs. So I'll get to the top, then light a torch. Then
Okay, make an athletics check to climb up this rope.
well, Store, did you want to say something first?
This is a question more for Almeg because he would. You might know, Grizz, but so I have 2 filled chaos crystals.
Yes. Yep.
No idea what size these things are, but assuming my character
Small.
they're
They should be.
small. Assuming my character knows how chaos crystals work, which I'm just gonna assume because we met the mad scientist dude and we share
Yep.
stories between us. Could I use one of those crystals to get like temporary dark vision?
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely a thing that you could achieve with a small crystal, I think. Yeah, and I just have to roll on. So is Olmec back yet?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
So if the first time he uses it for the day, that's fine. It's not a roll on the table, but it's the second time he'd have to roll on the table.
Correct.
Is that correct? Yeah,
Depending on
the
his,
first time.
depending on how much he succeeds or fails by, though, there's certain effects that could happen to him. Do you want me to bring it up and help you out?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind just popping the table up. I know it's somewhere around here, but I just don't.
And I back up from the rest of the group a little bit, just in case like I accidentally explode into like a big goo of mess, because I don't really 100% know how these things work.
Yeah, no, your characters definitely don't know how these things work either. This is sort of brand new territory.
You should just do it.
I'm 100% doing it. I seen it in my inventory, and I was like, well, any as good a time as any.
All right, so as you you visualize this thing and you hold it in your hand, the stone sort of glows and you see this swirling sort of light, and you kind of seems right, and you hold it up to your face and eyes, and this sort of flash comes across your face, and this purple sort of light sort of clouds over your eyes, and as your friends look at you in the dark or in the dim lighting, you have this sort of glowing sort of purple eyesight, and now you can see all through this cave. You can see up. Everything within 60 feet is sort of illuminated to you.
He's got to eat it.
He's got to eat it.
Yeah, that's how they
Is that
work.
for real?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I
And
kind of
then
like the idea of just breaking a crystal into my eyes a little bit more, though.
oh, you could have him like snap it onto his eyeball. That'd be kind of funny.
Okay,
It's
so
kind of it's kind of something that you consume.
okay. So you don't get them back once you use them.
No, so you charge them and then you like consume them by like usually eating them.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, sweet. All right. You eat this thing and you get dark vision. And you
So
got-
he has to kind of roll to like control the effects. So you set
Okay.
like a DC and then he rolls against it as like a flat roll.
Okay.
Yeah, and then from
Where
there
is-
I'll help you. I've just got it up. I'll just send it to you. And
Yep. Do you want to make you want to roll a d20 for me, please, Storm?
I
Am
could
I the first
probably
one to
honestly just run
do
this for you
this?
if you want.
Thank
Kind of,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I think I passed.
Yeah, no, you definitely control this thing.
Yeah, and so because he succeeded by 5 to 10,
Yep.
assuming that did he succeed by 10 plus?
Yeah, he did.
He did. Well, then you get to choose a positive chaos intervention that might have been a result of the roll.
Okay, so
On addition to my dark vision?
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Yeah.
bet.
So if you're just it's a fairly minor magical effect, and you rolled quite well, so you actually have a good thing. So where is that table, Draki? The good table? Doesn't seem to be linked.
There's not really like a good table. This one, the chaos intervention, that's
Yep.
just like narratively. You just like choose something that that
All right.
fits.
So as your eyes glow, you sort of your whole body glows this purple sort of light, and you are sort of illuminated in this fairly wide circle. So you are now glowing, and you are yourself. Your body is a light source for the foreseeable future.
So I look at the party, and I'm like, so I think I figured out our light problem, guys. These chaos crystals, we need to get lots of them. Lots and
As
lots of crystals.
As they
That's sick.
look
He's
at
now
you,
a torch.
you're like glowing with this inner purple light, and your eyes are like glowing beacons, and you can like see very clearly into the darkness.
I can see everything.
Great, then you go up and I hand him the rope.
No. He's the heaviest. If the rope snaps, all is lost.
Yes, but he'll also be able to see if there's
How much?
another dead bear up there ready
How
to
much
attack
can a
us.
rope hold?
One
It's a
rope's
strong.
worth.
It's a this rope in particular. It's reasonably fucking well made. Like you can see that it's like woven tightly. It can easily hold your weight. Like it'd hold maybe 2 people's weight based on you just like holding on it and stretching it and whatnot.
So I weigh 265 plus 91 pounds a gear.
Yeah, this thing you reckon it could hold at least 600 pounds of weight. This is a real this is a magical rope.
All right, I start climbing up the rope then.
All right, make an acrobatics check for me, please.
19.
Yep, cool. You handily scamper up the rope. As you sort of get to near the top, make a stealth roll for me, please.
Can I really be stealthy though? I'm a glowing human being.
That's a very good point, actually. All right, so as you burst up over the top, you see straight away there's a small sort of copper sort of pipe. It's about maybe not quite 3 or 4 feet off the ground, maybe 3 feet off the ground, and it sticks out of the wall about 1.5 feet, and it's got a sort of sharpened corner on it. It's like someone's filed the edge of this pipe. It's probably about 2 inches in diameter. And as you sort of look across to the cave on the other side, like high up on the wall, there's sort of this circle of illuminated light coming out of this pipe. Other than that, you see like a stone staircase that sort of leads up and away from this. As you look sort of up the staircase, it finishes quickly with sort of a trapdoor, but you can see daylight sort of shining in between the cracks of the boards of the trapdoor.
I walk up to the door and just kind of crack it open a little bit to get like a general vibe if it's like out in the middle of the woods or like where it kind of leads.
Yep. Okay, so you walk past this pipe, up the staircase. You throw the trap. You want to open the trapdoor, or you going to look through it?
I kind of just like poke it up open a little bit so I can see like what kind of ground is outside. If it's like forest or if it's like another building.
Yeah, you pop it open, and straight away you see the forest. You see trees. You see the sky. I mean, it's like late afternoon. The sun is sort of going down. You smell pine and sort of fire, and you think you're back out in the forest.
All right, so with that, I go back down the rope. Or before I go back down the rope, I kind of just shout down to the party. I'm like, it's just another trap door on the way out. Do we want to go out it and see what's out there, or do we just want to keep going down the cave?
What would you guys like to do?
Another way out doesn't help us. Let's keep looking.
I start climbing down the rope.
Yep, you can pretty handily scale down this thing. It's sort of assisting you as you sort of slide up and down it. The rope is sort of coiling and uncoiling beneficially. It's like when you want to stop, it'll sort of like spread out in your hands and give you a bit more friction. And when you want to slide down it, it's kind of becomes slick and frictionless.
This rope is awesome. So when I get down to the bottom, I say, should I lead, or are we trying to do this stealthy?
Oh, I say lead the way, you human torch.
No. I disagree. I'll go, and then I'm gonna start walking towards that thing.
He is a human torch. I'm not really against the idea of him leading.
My only concern if I don't lead.
As you guys are sort of debating the merits of whether or not Zor should lead, Vic sort of creeps away, and you guys don't really notice him as he sort of creeps around the corner. Is that working for you, Vic? Are you being able to see down this corridor?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, cool. All right, so as you make your way down this corridor, it sort of opens up into like a chamber. There is 2 coffins, sort of what you recognize as coffins, sort of propped up against the wall.
Oh, fuck me.
In the middle of the room, there's sort of like a low stone slab. Around the edges of the slab, you can sort of see like cutting equipment. There's like a pair of shears, like embalming tools. All across this wall, you see sort of bottles and like a shelving unit with like sort of like beakers. There's a stack of in one corner. There's kind of like a little cut stack of little sticks and dried firewood, and there's a little brazier, sort of on the opposite wall from where you are now. What would you like to do?
Oh man, I'm gonna hate myself for this, but curiosity. Can I open up one of the coffins and give it a little gander?
You open up one of the coffins and you see the skeletal figure of a humanoid. You see he is clutched in one of his hands is like a small sort of paper fan, Um, based on like this coffin wasn't like sealed; the lid was just sitting on top of it. But as you pop it open, he's obviously all his flesh has rotted away. There's a stink, but this fan seems untouched.
Is it nice? Does it look like it's in fairly good condition?
Yeah, it does. It seems to have been painted with a delicate pattern. It looks like this. If you want to look at the camera.
Your camera's not on, dude.
Not on. My bad.
It looks like a panther.
I just love the idea that level 1 character walked away and we're all here arguing who should go first.
I'm level 2, thank you.
Like this.
I'm gonna slide a hand. I'm gonna try and grab that shit quick and put the coffin lid back.
Has like a nice sort of picture of like flowers on it. Yep.
I'm just
You
gonna
gotta put
like,
the coffin. Yep.
just,
No worries.
yeah. Now I'm gonna go check that other coffin.
Yep. So as you pop the other coffin open, it is empty. Just for reference to the rope that you have, it looks like this. It's sort of like a glowing blue.
That is hands down one of the coolest fucking items to get. You can get so much shit done with that. All right, I'm gonna walk back to the boys.
Yep. No worries.
All right, as you're walking
So
back,
as you refresh the party, are you like sort of strolling up, or are you stealthing back up and pretending that you've never left?
Oh, I'm just gonna stroll back up
Stroll back up. All right,
with
cool.
the
So
fan thing, and I'm gonna. Whoever's in front is gonna. I'm gonna blow it in their face.
okay, cool. So just to be clear, did you grab the fan before?
Yeah, I slide a hand with the.
Okay, yeah,
yoink
cool.
it.
Yeah, nice. Yep. As you blow it in their faces.
Oh no.
Oh no!
As you blow it in their faces, it blows more than you'd expect. Everyone in this corridor make a dex save for me, please.
What's the name of this item?
You don't know. You haven't identified it yet.
You're so dead, Vic.
All right. So Sobek and Store. Everyone else sort of manages to hunker down as this sort of blast of wind just sort of flood, like it spits up dust and dirt and like sort of debris, but it just sort of pushes and blows everything back. Store and Norin, you get pushed 10 feet backwards. And you're sort of knocked prone. It just sort of blasts you off your feet. You just weren't expecting it. Sobek, Isaac, and Ingalore, you sort of just hunker down as this sort of blast of air just sort of pushes past you.
so Isaac,
Well, that was fucking unexpected. This thing's dope.
I wanted to say as a reaction, Isaac thinks there's like a huge creature, so he like immediately pulls out his sword and like starts like looking around in kind of a hurried.
Vic, do you want to roll a d10 for me, please?
A D10.
Yeah.
9.
Okay, cool. So this thing is drained at the minute. You just feel like you sort of feel it empty. You don't know how you know, but you know that you can't do this thing again.
So I get a little tingle from it.
You get a little tingle. It feels empty at the moment. You're not sure when it will recharge, if it does recharge.
Okay. Well, I think it's done.
At this point, as he does this, I just say, you found a new toy friend. I've got to say, I'm a fan." and he gives you a look, and he just chuckles.
I'm a fan as well. I could do a lot of fun with this. Better watch out, Isaac. It might blow wind on you.
Yes, I know. That's why my sword is out. Now, do you know where it came from? Because that's the real problem here.
Yeah, I fucking yoinked it off some corpse back there. There was nothing else. It looks like this guy does more than just fucking animals.
Yoinked what? What did you yoink? I'm talking about a creature here. There's obviously something that can blow air down this hall.
What creature?
Well, you felt that gust of wind right now, didn't you?
I didn't, but
Oop.
you sure in the fuck did.
Don't worry, Isaac. This one's just full of hot air.
You know where that wind came from?
Yeah, it's all good, my friend. Don't worry.
I
By
just
the way,
put it up and wave it around.
oh, that was from that fan? Ah, I was worried. I thought a creature had ambushed us, some sort of, I don't know, some elemental monster of sorts.
Extol wanted to speak.
How,
Yeah, shoot.
how tall are you, Vic?
Oh, I don't know, like 2'7".
I walk up to Vic and I give him like a shove, like not to do damage, but like a shove with my foot, and say you need to be more careful next time.
Can I
You never-
dodge?
Can you nudge?
Can I like try and move out of the way?
I'd also like to intercede on this.
Yeah, okay. Make a dex save for me.
I mean, if Yingalor like tries to stop me on this, like I wouldn't. But like,
Yeah,
I
as
give,
you step forward, I kind of put my foot between you and him, and I say, "Don't lay your hands on this Gepetin."
he needs to be more careful. He's been nothing but a nuisance since he's been born. And
He's
I
but a-
do air quotes when I say born.
I look at Vic and I say, "He's nothing but a child. He's only been amongst us for weeks at that. How long's it
Ev-
been? Probably days more."
A child
really.
needs to be disciplined. A nice beating never hurt nobody.
Ah.
Just like Dad used to say.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a nice way to say it.
Don't you dare lay a hand on this Gepetin. And he just gives you like a menacing look.
I just kind of shove past him and say, then tell him to be more careful next time, or he'll be the one on the ground
I'm gonna
permanently.
look at Yingalor. I'm gonna pretend to start racking a fucking bolt in my new crossbow. But I'm gonna put it
Yingler,
back.
in response to this, Yingler is gonna try to use Entangle to he's gonna use the whole spell just to like bring some roots up around Store's legs and just like trip him over as he walks away.
Okay. Store, did you want to... Sorry, Sobek, did you want to say something?
Do we see Vic loading the crossbow bolt?
It was more like in a me-ish gesture. It didn't look serious.
Either way,
Yeah,
Sobek
like
is
a
gonna
character.
like
It's like a over-exaggerated sort of action. So yeah, I think you'd see it pretty easily.
Sobek's gonna whisper stealthily to the amulet that he has. Dance.
What does that mean?
I have Vic's amulet that I'm allowed to issue a command through.
Oh, okay, yep. So does he have to save against that, or he has
I
to
think
go-
it was.
No,
I think the commands were just sleep and wake. Really.
I thought we had basic commands, but okay.
That's all I remember was sleep and wake.
Yeah, I think that was the whole intention. Like, if he needed a timeout, essentially that was what it was for.
Who has this? I thought it was Isaac.
Nah, Sobek got it.
Sobek? Oh, it's my lifesaver right there.
I wasn't gonna fucking shoot you.
Yeah, but I guess your lifesaver then.
Yeah, but
It's
what
fine.
if?
We could probably just keep going if you want. I don't need a cast Entangle on still.
Yep. All right. What do you guys want to do?
As I see still going down, I say, "Oi, that way. We haven't been this way yet." And I gesture to like the path that we hadn't taken.
Okay, I start walking down there.
All right. As you make your way into this sort of open hallway, can you guys move down this hallway? It doesn't seem to be working on my thing.
It's
Into
black.
this sort of round
Oh,
chamber.
yeah,
Oh,
I
no,
can.
yeah, that-
I can.
You know what? Store's in a hissy fit right now. You guys are on your own.
Yeah. So you stalk off in this sort of purple glowing light, and your eyes pierce the darkness.
I'm just gonna sit right
Everyone
here.
else dog piles down into this room, and you see the two coffins and the sort of embalming equipment on this stone slab. You see the shelving with the vials of liquid. You see the little fireplace and the brazier, and you see the sort of cloth bandages sort of stacked up on the shelf. What do you guys want to do?
I'd like to look for, I'd like to examine the walls, sort of like prod and poke, and look for hollow sections of wall or anything that might lead to another
Yeah.
area.
Okay, so you spend 10 minutes and you poke most stones and you sort of feel across the wall, and everything feels as it should. Everything feels solid. You don't see any levers or trapdoors or mechanisms. In this sort of section, the walls are sort of rough hewn. It's not naturally eroded cave. It's like this has been mined, but it's left, the stone walls are left fairly rough.
Seems to be just a sick chamber for whatever depravity this is. Maybe we ought to head back.
I'm gonna also look at the vials of stuff on the shelf. I'm gonna cast detect poison and disease to try and pick out any that are like poison vials.
Yeah, so one of them does glow with sort of it's a very weak, so it's only just registering as a poison, but it is definitely poisonous. And the other two don't glow.
Alright, I'll ignore it then.
You what? Sorry, what was that?
I'll ignore it then. I don't care enough
Okay.
for it.
Yep. Did you want to take the other two, or did you want to investigate the other two somehow?
Nah.
No. Okay. You leave the vials of clear liquid on the shelf, and you make your way out the room. All right. What do you guys want to do?
Assuming I see my party, I just kind of start walking down and go down this way towards the other door.
Yeah. So this door is a wooden door. As far as you can tell, it just has a simple handle. It doesn't seem to be
I kick it
any locking mechanism.
because I've
Alright,
kicked every other door open so far. Might as well kick
You
this one open too.
You smash this door open, and it swings off its hinges around and hits the wall behind it, and just sort of clamours and echoes. And you don't see anything in this room. This room is completely empty. Like there's flagstones and stone walls and dust, and that's all that you can see in this room.
Seems empty. Is there any else? Is there a door to this left spot right here?
I think that's just because that was supposed to be the secret door. I think it just sort of like shifted across somehow. But no, there's not another door here. It's just that was fucked up.
So I look at the party and say, is it dragon time?
Are you asking me? Like,
No,
I
I'm
think
asking
there's
the
a-
party.
Us as a party.
Yeah, that's in the party.
I don't think that's
Isaac-
where our quarry resides. I think we ought to head down this way.
Which
Although
way?
I'll be honest, I'm a bit turned around. Down this way. You can see my arrow?
Yep.
Is that where we came from earlier? I feel like...
Oh,
No, we came from the room over here.
I
Okay,
love that
cool.
this whole lighting effect is actually helping you guys get lost in this place.
We're very
that-
lost.
I look at Ingo and say, I'm pretty sure that's a dead end where the giant slime acid cube was that took your leg. Are you sure you want to keep walking down that way?
Well, I think we already took care of that. Are you sure there was nothing down there?
Let's go find out.
Alright, so as you make your way down this corridor, you see the sort of puddling remains of this slime and the dissolved sort of javelin and bits and pieces of organic material that was semi-digested. As you make your way down to the end, you see sort of this mining face where there's been some kind of excavation in the past. So there's like shovels, there's little sort of baskets of like broken up stone, there's like a pickaxe and like a digging bar. But other than that, you don't, unless you want to take some of this mining equipment, you don't see anything of value. And this sort of rough hewn sort of tunnel that's in the process of being like sort of carved out of the mountainside.
Stork sarcastically picks up a pickaxe and starts mining. And's
Mhm.
like, you said to go this way. I guess we should start digging.
Isaac doesn't even question it. He also gets a pickaxe and just starts following Store's lead, also mining.
Yingalor's gonna head back. Yingalor, upon seeing them, like just messing around, sort of says, "There are animals being slaughtered as we jest. Can we not go back and find this creature? I think it's about time that I started tracking him seriously." And you see Yingalor, like, his body starts to crack and, like, bend and, like, meld into a different form, and he eventually becomes a tiny little ferret.
As his body's just cracking, you just see Store just blankly staring at Isaac, being like, "What the fuck is that? What's going on with him?"
Can I pick him up?
I don't know, but I've seen him do it before, and
Yeah, you can if you want.
he
Hell
doesn't reek
yeah.
of evil to me, so I guess must be some sort of magic his kind likes to use. It's beyond me, but it's not evil, so I see no problem with it.
As a ferret, I wanted to try to track back to the hunting lodge and look for something that I could pick up a scent from.
Yeah, cool. So I will make like a sense trail for you on the map if you wanted to follow along.
Yeah, so let's say I tracked back.
Oh, you're hella tiny.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah.
So your little ferret leg is missing. So you come back past this sort of this cross section corridor.
Well, I wanted
there's
to
lots
I wanted to
of
track
stuff.
all the way back to the cavern to try and like nail down a more specific scent trail with something like of the hunters.
Okay, cool. So this is the direction up into the cavern. Yeah. Sorry.
That way. That way.
To the that way.
Yeah. Yeah. So I go back.
So
I look around in this area for like something that belongs to him, like some clothing or.
Also
the strongest
assume.
scent comes from this room, which you sort of recognize as the place of sleeps.
Mhm.
You smell this scent. You track it back out, and it sort of goes out the door and into the forest. As you make your way back out into the forest, it sort of becomes tangled and mixed up with the other scents, so the strong smell of pine and smoke.
Could I
survival check.
Cool, because I make this with advantage for being a ferret. And I'll just let me just quickly bring up the stats for. Weasel
Can
ability.
Yingalor still speak?
No.
No. Okay.
So you guys are all running after this ferret as it sort of ducks away with its three cute little legs.
Isaac's mining.
I would have grabbed you and brought you. I wouldn't leave you down there mining.
Hey,
That's not
what
I
are you
meant to do.
doing? I thought we were supposed to mine.
Sorry, that was supposed to be
Okay,
with
so-
advantage. It would be an 8 plus 3, so it's only an 11.
Okay, so you follow this this scent trail out the door, sort of 50 meters down into the front garden. You cross a little stream, and you get to this stream, and you can't really orient a direction from what you smell. It sort of becomes very unclear. You don't know if you followed the stream down river. You don't know if you crossed to the other side, or you don't know if you went upstream.
I'm gonna make a little weasel cry of anguish.
I'm gonna pick up Yingalor and
Yep.
oh wait, you're a beast.
Mm-hmm.
So never mind. I'm not gonna pick him up. I'm just gonna use primeval awareness to oh, hold on. Never mind. I'll pick him up and be like, show me this this guy's footprints, and I'll do my best. Then I'll put him back down.
I'll sniff around and like find one of the footprints that belong to this guy, and like
have to
circle around it, look up.
You have to search around for a little while because this is obviously very practiced with this terrain. But you do see just on the sort of edge of the riverbank, there is in some wet mud. There's a boot tread mark. That you
I like to
recognise
kind of
as
just like run up to it, sniff at it, and then just like look up at Norin.
Yep. You do that, and you indicate to Norin that this is the boot tread of this guy.
Right. Sobek. Hello.
How big is a ferret? In
They're
D&D?
like 6 inches, maybe a foot, somewhere in there.
Like tiny. I think you'd call them tiny.
Yeah, they're pretty damn small.
Sobek will give the he's telling Abon to allow the ferret to ride him, and Abon has his own telepathy, so he can
Yep.
use that to take commands from the ferret if that's possible.
Wait, you're a
Yeah.
ferret?
Yeah.
Ferrets are 8 to
technically,
18
I'm
inches.
a weasel. Technically, I'm a weasel.
but
for the
ferrets are
5e,
cuter.
so that's yeah. But thematically, I'm a ferret. So all right,
okay.
I'd like to get up on a barn then and just like cling onto his back and just be like,
Okay.
I'm
so
also
you guys
gonna.
are all
Sorry, go
at
ahead.
the cabin. You guys are all at the cabin still? Like,
Well-
Ying, or are you flying off on a barn, or what's up? What are your movements? What are you trying to do, guys?
I've directed Noah into this footprint, and I'm kind of like insistent about him like looking at this footprint.
Mhm.
But then I'm kind of just like following along with a barn as my mount.
Okay. Sobek, did you want to say something, sorry?
No, that was the Abon comment was all.
Okay, yeah. Store, did you want to say something?
Yeah. So I pull Isaac aside and I say, so do we how much do we really trust this new Vic character?
I don't trust them at all.
He I just wanted to make sure I had at least one supporter in the situation, just in case.
You have my sword if things get out of hand.
All right, well, let's not just chop heads off. As much as I love chopping heads off, and I point to the halfling's head, I just don't know how much demon is actually in control compared to the rest.
Neither do I, but the scent lingers. It's frustrating how one of our comrades is trapped with such a foul creature. But nevertheless, I can't bring myself to kill him without a cause. That is, or was, Vic, after all.
He still toes the line between life and death, and that's all I really want to say.
Okay. As you guys are having this little aside, Yingle, or what are you doing on top of this this pseudo dragon, a barn?
You're
Yingle,
muted.
you there?
Still muted.
God damn it, I swear I hit it. If a barn plays along, I'll kind of get a bit of a bird's eye view, look for some tracks from above. Like I'll just kind of like look around for anything that sticks out in the surrounding wood region. Look for another entrance to the cabin or something where the hunter might have gone.
I'm also going to start. Go ahead.
Make a perception check for me. This is a visual one. I don't think your smell
No,
senses.
I wouldn't get advantage.
I'm also going to try and track him with my survival skills.
It's
Yeah,
22.
Okay, so you see a very faint plume of smoke reasonably nearby in sort of another clearing, maybe not even half a mile away. Make a survival check for me to track him.
Can I just get confirmation? So Yingalor, Abon, and Norin are out in the wilderness right now, and the
By
rest
the
of us-
river.
They're
Where's-
just outside the door, maybe 50 feet outside the hut. They're just sort of on that.
So just real quick before that's resolved, I'd poke my head out and say, so are we done with this cave? What are we trying to do? Are we? Store's just super confused.
What are you guys doing? Are you wanting to spear off into the forest and track this guy down?
I'm going to
Or-
turn to Store and say, Yingalor is leading us to this guy, probably. And with my tracking, my survival check, do the footprints look like they're going that same direction that Aban and
They
Yinglor?
Yeah, as the two of you sort of correlate, you look
Okay.
up and he's sort of flying in the direction. You're following these footprints across the river, and they're heading in the same direction as the clearing. So, just for the sake of clarity, you guys wanting to head in this direction?
I'd like to just
I believe so.
yeah, I'd just like to try to communicate with Sobek through Aban as like an intermediary, like pictures, like an image of like a slaughtered animal and an image of like the flame from the forest with like the clear intention that like that is our goal.
Yep. Okay. All right. So you guys are all moving. Is the rest of the party following along behind, or what are we doing?
Yeah, I was just trying to get everybody together. That was the point of that interaction. So are we all going?
Okay, so you being led by Norin and Yingalo are above, and the rest of the party sort of, I imagine, following a little ways behind. Norin
Me
and Yingalo. Sorry, go on.
Nothing. That was just more for narrative. Me and Isaac are just still talking shit on the little bear.
Yeah. Yep. Cool.
Within earshot?
Absolutely
Oh,
not.
well, to be fair, Isaac is like listening to Store and just like nodding his head in agreement. He said his piece. But he's can we imagine it as like Store is ranting and Isaac's like yes, like nodding.
Damn, that's crazy. And it's still going on.
Did you guys get moved across? I'll just reshare this. Did that work?
Sure.
Yes.
This is where those rabbit spiders attacked us.
Yeah, I was about to say.
The very same.
You find yourself in a familiar clearing. No, just what I had.
All these
Alright,
currents
so-
look the same, am I right? Sorry.
So shit. All right, so as you, Norin, and you, Yingalo, you hunt down this smell and these footprints. Make a stealth check for me as you creep and fly above the. Okay, Norin can make a stealth check, I guess. It's not like you can really fly stealthily, you're just sort of flying. But you are quite small, I guess.
I'm trying to stay like high out of sight.
Okay.
Whee!
The barn's sort of flapping loudly, having a good time. He's going "Rah, rah," as he sort of flies. Norin's sort of like padding, like he's sort of bent over double, scurrying through the underbrush. And
I'm a little bit afraid of going in head first, so I'm sort of like trying to get Aban to sort of back off.
Okay, so Norin sort of makes it to the edge of the tree line, and he sees this sort of like burning campfire in the center, and these two tents and this one sort of ruined tent. Yeah, both tents are closed. There's a little bit of fire heading off the there's like smoke sort of coming up of fire in the middle. You smell sort of cooking meat. You see sort of trap. You see a trap that hasn't been set. It's just lying on the ground next to the fire. What would you like to do?
Do I have line of sight to the fire, or is this tent in the way?
This tent is sort of like mostly like laying flat on the ground. It's been like smashed.
Oh, okay.
Up. It's not like.
And the dead
It's sort
body is there this time?
The dead body is not there this time, but it is the remains of a tent. It's
Okay.
been destroyed.
But there's no how. Can I get an estimation how long this fire has been going?
Oh yeah, you think it's been going at least 4 or 5 hours. It's sort of burned down a little bit. It's not like a flaming, blazing thing. It's just sort of like ticking over nicely. You can see
Okay.
sort of embers, mostly embers.
I want to crawl back a little bit and inform the party. Trampled ass tent. and fire has been going for 4 or 5 hours or so. Don't know much else.
You said embers?
Yeah, it's pretty burnt down. It's
I-
mostly embers. There's a couple of branches.
I look at the rest of the party and try to gauge their actions. Like, what are you guys about to do here?
So you guys are about 100 feet away from this tent, sort of hiding in the bushes. You just sort of come in with a little plan. Vic, did you want to say something?
I would, when Norin came back to say that, I would just kind of try and vanish off and go look closer in the tent or like the area.
Okay, so you creep up to the clearing. Make a stealth check for me, please. Put in the dice down too. That was good.
Yeah. I like that a lot too.
Yeah, so as you sort of creep up to the edge of the clearing, you sort of keeping yourself low in the bushes. You manage to like step over and around crunchy twigs, and you're just sort of peeking out of the bushes. You see sort of evidence of habitation in this camp in a little while. You see a deer that's been trussed up and sort of partially skinned over by sort of lying out on this sort of pile of rocks here.
Could I move like right there and check it out a little further? Quietly?
You can, but this tent isn't up. This tent is like a pile of fabric on the ground. Like it's like the wood in the tent. Yeah.
Fuck. Is it bunched up? Is there any part that's kind of more bunched up than not? I can kind of like crawl to and.
Yeah, if you're sort of basically crawling along the ground, you're like a small creature, you could sort of hide in that.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to do that and see if I get a better view.
Yeah, okay, so you can sort of see this tent is sort of slightly open, and you can see that there's a light source inside the tent. Other than that, you don't see any movement.
I'm gonna wave everybody forward, but make them do this quietly.
All right, as you're sort of waving people forward, make a perception check for me.
Okay.
Did we see him walk away, or did he was extra sneaky?
He was pretty sneaky. Like he just sort of blended into the undergrowth. So, okay, so you don't hear them until they get fairly close, but then, sort of out of the tree line, you hear and see 4 pretty large mastiffs sort of come like running out. They'll come like sort of running as a group, and then you hear a whistle from inside the tent, and they all sort of converge, mouth of the tent, and you sort of see something being thrown out, some kind of animal product or meat.
I put the universal stop.
As you perceive sort of this, they kind of 2 of them raise their heads up, and they're kind of sniffing, and I'll just put them on the map. And you have a pretty good idea that they might be interested in your smell, because 2 of them spear off, and
They like the smell of wood?
they recognize that something is in the camp, and they make their way in your direction. You want to do anything?
I have an ability actually that's perfect for this.
Yep.
Pantomime. All marionettes are not dance. Innocuous. As a mundane toy, I would like to use oh, it's deception. Would deception work against the dogs? It's to make me look like a regular toy. Just like Andy's home.
These dogs are sort of padding towards you. They're not like aggressive, but they're just sort of sniffing. They're making their way up to you. What are you doing?
I'm gonna use Innocuous and do like a deception check for looking like a toy.
Okay, so you go limp.
Natural 20 plus 6. 26.
You go limp. You sort of lay against the ground. You're still. Have you got your weapons drawn in your hands?
No.
Or they're stowed? Okay. One of these mastiffs sort of pushes its head, like it's sort of sniffing. It's looking around. It's pushing its head in the remains of the tent. It sort of sniffs you out. It just sort of picks you up softly in its jaw, and it pads away with you. It's a pretty large dog, but it sort of lifts you easily, and it's carrying you back towards the direction of the tent. So you guys in the tree lines, you're sort of watching this. You can sort of see pretty clearly that this dog has just picked up Store, and he's patted away with him, and he's taking him back to the tent. What do you guys want to do? So you're limp. So straight away, this mastiff hasn't recognized you as a living creature at all. It's just picked you up, assuming you are some kind of doll, and it's taking you back to its tent.
So, I wouldn't have let them even get that far. As soon as I see them pick him up,
Yeah.
I would have gave like a whistle. Like I would have tried to like run, like not run, but like walk up to the clearing, kind of have my hands open, try to seem like non-threatening to these mastiffs, and be like, and just whistle and try to get them to drop my pet toy.
I'm gonna use.
Okay, so as you make, all right. So as you make it to the edge of the clearing, you sort of cast this glowing light around, and these two mastiffs sort of twirl and like focus on you and let out a bark. Everyone roll initiative for me, please.
Okay.
Really? They're just gonna straight up attack me? Oh.
So this glowing sort of creature that they don't recognize is encroached upon their
Oh
territory.
yeah, you're glowing.
And they're attack dogs, so it's like, yeah, bang.
Hashtag chaos. You might want to delete the undead bear from the combat tracker, Steve.
Yes.
I would just like to formally
I got
apologize
so
for
much
this.
shit on this one. It takes me ages to find anything.
You know you don't have to have like all your creatures for the session in the combat tracker, dude. Like you just do it in encounters, and you just like add them via the encounters as you need them.
Yeah, I haven't worked out the encounters thing yet.
Okay, that's probably a good idea. We'll talk about that after this session. But
I'll delete some of these other things. Yeah, it is pretty annoying having them all.
At least Ingalore gets this guy's head.
Right.
Yinglaw has some serious mixed feelings about killing dogs.
I did not want to kill these dogs. Don't worry. I was trying to do it peacefully, and all of a sudden they turn. Now they're attacking me.
All right, Norin, you're up first. What would you like to do?
Okay, so the mastiff does not have fake in his mouth, correct?
No, he's sort of just been distracted just before he's going to pick up.
Okay. I'm gonna shoot the one that's closest. No, I'm gonna shoot mastiff number 1.
Alright, just so everyone knows, you always have the option to do non-lethal damage. Even as a ranged attack, you can still opt to do non-lethal damage.
Nah, I'm aiming for lethal.
Yep. So Mastiff 2, let's call him Jerry.
Oh, sorry, mastiff 1 is the one I'm shooting at.
Okay, cool.
Not Jerry.
Name him Tom.
Okay, so you're shooting at Tom. Alright, go ahead and make him top roll. Hits, yep, so go ahead and roll damage. So you haven't really even been seen by this thing. So this arrow just shoots from the trees and embeds outside. Let's start up.
Ta-da.
Alright, so this shaft of this arrow sort of pierces its neck, and this thing just sort of like just collapses on this side, and there's blood sort of spurting and gurgling out of its neck, and then it sort of drops to the ground. its friend Jerry sort of like looks across at it and just sort of like whimpers. All right. As you loose this arrow into it, his dog Callum sort of runs out into the clearing. He looks around. The only person that he can see is Store across the other side of the clearing. He looks you up and down. He stares into your purple glowing eyes and he goes, "What are you doing with that necklace? It doesn't belong to you." And he points at you. He sort of points his finger directly at you, and he mutters something under his breath. Make a Constitution save for me, please, Store.
And to think I was gonna let this guy live. 15.
Okay, so this necklace that you're wearing sort of constricts and tightens around your neck, and these icicles, you feel, instead of them pointing outwards, they kind of like inverse, and you feel them like burrowing, like freezing like deeply into your skin. I'm not sure if you had any temporary hit points
I had
left,
4.
but you had 4 temporary hit points. All right, you take 4 points of ice damage as these icicles sort of invert themselves and bury themselves in your flesh. Also, this thing is it's starting to choke you. You don't seem to be able to draw air into your lungs, and this thing is like tightening around your neck. So you have your Constitution modifier is how many minutes of oxygen that you have if you're deprived of oxygen. So it's enough to get you through combat,
I have
but
3
outside of combat. So it's 3 minutes, which is like 30 rounds of combat. So like you can hold your breath and like survive for a short amount of time, but outside of combat, this thing is choking you, and you're gonna run out of air if you don't do anything about it. All right. After that, he is going to. He's going to close the distance, and he's going to sort of draw his sword, and he's just waiting for you guys to approach him out of the tree line. Aban, you're up. So Aban doesn't have his own initiative, or does he? He's on your turn, isn't he? Sobek.
Yeah, typically waits for I believe Olmec typically just kind of has him fly around until he's given a command. But with Olmec flying him, or excuse me, Ingelor flying him, I'm just gonna like relinquish control to Ingelor until he's done with him.
Sweet.
Yeah,
So let's say-
that's typically how mounts work.
Yep. Okay.
You just
Alright.
match their initiative. But I think in future I'll probably give Aban the same initiative as you. No, I'm thinking about it.
Okay. Vic, you're sort of laying there playing dead, but it's actually your turn. So if you wanted to, you're pretty sure neither Jerry nor Callum have realized that you are actually an animated, alive, thinking, living, being, intelligent creature.
Yeah, so I'm gonna disengage.
So you
Back
haven't, it hasn't taken you in its mouth yet.
Oh, he's
But
still
yeah, you are still.
he's still
you're still
close.
within
I
that.
didn't want to proc any like opportunity attacks or anything.
Yep.
So I would like to use my full movement, disengage, and then I'm gonna rack a bolt and fire at Callum.
Yep.
Also, that voice was dope as shit. Please don't kill us.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
Ooh, 12.
All right, it goes wide. Unfortunately, Callum just sort of sees the bot and sort of waves his head to the side. He kind of hisses and looks at you. He's like, "Ah, damn puppet."
For my free action, I'm gonna say, Liliana, forgive me.
Who's Liliana, sorry?
One of my other souls, part of my spirit. Yeah.
All right. Next up, Sobek. So you see him Callum sort of hissing through the tree line. You see Jerry, his dog, sort of snarling in front of him. What would you like to do?
So if I was to yell out to the party, is that a bonus action or can I just do that?
That's a free action. I think you have up to 30 words communication as a free action.
Sobek will call out before he initiates. He is to come alive and pay for his crimes. I can secure his I can make sure he's cuffed easily without harm to anyone.
Okay. Yep.
And then with that, I will. Sorry, what?
So you're telling everyone else in the party that like to take him alive, basically.
Yeah, we're to be like, we'll take care of the dogs, and then when he's left, I can take care of him without harm to anyone else.
Okay. Yep.
And then can I just e-blast the dog without lethal, because it's force damage? I just want to like hit it in the head and knock it out, preferably.
Yeah, cool. You can do non-lethal damage on any damage type, I believe. So yeah, shoot. Alright, you sort of blow this thing's leg out from under it, and it sort of like winces, but it still uses its other three legs to support it, and it's still moving around, it's still up in it. You think you might have broken its little arm.
That'll be my turn.
Cool. At this stage, with its broken arm, it's gonna sort of, it's gonna kind of whimper and run back. As it runs past Callum, Callum sort of hisses and snarls at it and goes, "You useless dog! I should have never trained you." And it sort of runs back over to its fellows and it sort of like whimpers behind them. It's not willing to fight anymore, seeing its friend go down. One of its friends is going to run over though. Seeing you run, doesn't seem to be able to bring up distance. Okay, yep, cool. It's going to use
The best way to do it.
Yeah, okay, yep. Yep, it's going to move its movement. It's not quite close base with Vic, but it's heading in your direction, Vic. It's not quite there, but it's running after you. And the last massive that we'll name, Terry. Terry's a big boy. Terry runs up and sort of, he sort of like stands in front of Callum, sort of protectively defending him. Alright, Store. You're sort of standing at the tree line. You've seen this sort of, this large, massive sort of run in
Sorry,
front
you
of
skipped me,
Callum.
dude.
I skipped you. Oh, sorry, yeah, I did. Yeah, sorry, Yingalor. You're up first. You can guide.
No worries. I'd like to. Oh, you unlocked movement. I'd like to move. I'd look for a spot on the tree where I might be able to kind of secure myself if I were to transform back. So I'm looking for like any sort of branch that looks like it would support the full weight of my furbolg self.
Yeah, so there's a pretty large sort of redwood tree, sort of nearby with a significant branch, and it's sort of reasonably clear. You can perch up there.
Cool. I would like to do so, and then I'll end my wild shape as like a free action. And standing on the tree, I would like to reach my hands. Like, so I'd put one hand on the tree, one hand. Oh, and I better just check range before I do this.
I think it's about 60 feet.
About 60 feet away from me? Cool. This should still work. Okay, so I grab onto like the tree branch, I grab onto like my crystallized seed, and I direct my focus towards Callum, and I bring up a section of entangling roots in an area that is, I think it's 20 feet maybe.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually like that. So they're gonna need to make a dex save, I believe. Let me just double check that. Strength, sorry. Should I just make sure that's correct? Just kind of built all these. Yeah, cool. I can make him make the save.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I just made myself do it. That's my bad.
You want me to make a strength save for them?
Nah, oh, we're good. Done.
Okay. So Terry failed. Callum.
Damn, he
succeeded.
just succeeded. Fuck. So basically, roots grab Terry, and he will become restrained, which it can add to him.
Okay. Yep.
And if Callum wants to move, it's going to take double the movement in that region, but he is not currently restrained. And post that, I will just cast Shillelagh on my staff. So you see, like, my staff start to glow with a golden light, and then I'll just end my turn up there.
Yep. Okay.
Isn't it supposed to be a
Terry's already
square?
moved.
Entangling roots? I don't think so. Let me have a look. Oh, it is a square. I apologize. Thank you.
I just read a lot of cleric spells.
Fair enough. There you go.
Okay. Store. You wait. What the fuck? Where'd you go? Where'd my dog go? Dog.
He got sunk into the
Hooray.
ground. It's okay.
I think you took him off
No.
the tracker. Might need to just put him back on, or copy one of the other creatures. And
No,
edit
he's
if you
still-
need to. Oh, okay,
There he
you
is.
just hit him. Yeah.
Oh, where the?
That was Terry, dude. You got rid of Terry, I think, and that was Jerry that you moved over.
Yeah.
If you're gonna use that as Terry, you wanna remove unconsciousness because it'll have disadvantage and everything.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Just
So good combat is challenging.
all right. I think we're good. All right. So Terry's in the snake. He's restrained, isn't he? I gotta add that.
How obvious is this spell?
It's roots coming out
Uh,
of the ground. You see it.
Very.
Is it? I thought it was just like the foliage around the ground. If there was like grass, it's what grabbed them and stuff. I didn't think anything actually came out of the ground.
Well, the way that I think about it is like the grass grows really quickly, like roots come out of the ground. It's like ensnaring.
It says grasping weeds and vines sprout from the ground in a 20-foot square.
Oh, okay. Then it's pretty obvious. All right. And
The store you're up.
yeah. So I run up to the edge of the roots sprouting up.
Mhm.
If I rip this necklace off me, is that my turn?
You can try and make a strength save. Yeah, a strength check through.
But
Uh,
could I throw a javelin at one of these two? If I do still do that, can I do both of those things, or do I have to make a choice?
I think that would be a full action to try and free yourself from this necklace that's like choking you.
All right, yeah, I'll do that because I probably want to be able to breathe. So you said a strength check?
Strength save. Yep.
I rolled a natural 1.
Alright. As your fingers grab into the edge of this thing, the ice sort of like cups your hands up, and with the like blood, you're not able to get a good grip. So you're just sort of clawing in there. Callum looks at you. Eyes kind of narrow, and he just looks at his nose and he goes,
Can I talk?
Yeah, you got up to 30 words.
I just didn't know if I could talk while I'm being strangled. I'm saying, you just wait, you're dead next.
Weren't you supposed to get some damage earlier still, by the way?
I had 4 temporary hit points that he took away.
So
I think what he
take
was saying is they turned into damage.
Yeah.
All right, now I have
Yeah.
30.
Cool.
All right, that's it.
Was there... Yep. Okay. Isaac, what would you like to do, my friend?
I'm gonna follow Store's lead. I'm gonna go my full movement over here. I'm gonna run forward.
Mhm.
I'm gonna huck my spear at Terry. And let me check my range. Yup, I'm just out of range. I'm gonna shoot that with disadvantage.
Okay. I think if you hold Alt, it automatically does disadvantage.
Yeah, I did it. It didn't highlight it for some reason. I think I was not zoomed in. Anyway. Oh,
It still
okay.
hits.
Cool. And then I'm gonna. All
Dude,
right.
dogs suck.
I mean, they're just dogs, man. Alright,
And
as
then
you hurl this spear, you're not trying to do non-lethal damage, are you? You're just hurling the spear.
no, I'm hucking a spear.
Alright, so you huck this thing at this dog, and it pierces its side and just perforates this thing's lung and just chokes in front of you.
All right. And then my next move is to pull the spear back to my hand. So
Alright.
yeah,
Who's that?
as my
That's
bonus
a-
action, I yank the spear back into my hand. That's my
Alright,
turn.
as Thor's standing right there, it gets kind of a spray of sort of like ichor and like gore as this thing flies out of him. The blood sort of splatters.
Store roars in happiness.
Okay.
And
Alright, we're back to
yeah, that's my
order.
turn.
No, and you're up. What would you like to do?
Okay. Well, if I shoot at Calum, will I get advantage?
Because you're...
Because he's
not
got
actually-
tangling roots.
He's not actually restrained. Terry was restrained,
Okay.
but Callum wasn't. He manages to sort of rip himself out of it.
Okay.
And
I'll
so
go
being
ahead.
restrained just gives. Oh yeah, sorry. I thought you said extra damage for some reason. My bad. I realized you said advantage.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Hunter's Mark onto him.
Yep.
And has he already taken damage yet?
No one's really aimed at it yet.
Damn. All right. All right. So I'll slap Hunter's Mark on him, and then shoot.
Okay, you line him up, and you just loose this thing, and it just embeds in his side.
Perfect.
You loose this arrow, and just pierces him. He goes, ah, ah.
Rawr. And that'll be my turn.
All right, as he snaps this arrow off, he turns around. How do you spin the little tokens around? Is it Alt? Shift? Shift, yeah. That just makes me a lot happier if they're facing the right way. He makes his way through, and he's sort of like, as he's going, he's like chopping these sort of roots as they come up and try and like trip him up. He's sort of like kicking through them and like slashing away with his sword. He makes it across to this hulking, glowing figure, and he just like snarls at him. He's like, "I'll carve you up, boy," he says to Storr. In one hand, he has this sort of curved, sort of vicious-looking scimitar. In the other hand, he has like this very short, sort of thin, skinning knife, but it sort of looks rank. It looks like it's like covered in this like black sort of ichor, and he slashes at you with this scimitar. Storr. Going wide, and he brings it around and he slashes again on the return stroke. This time he sort of slices across your leg as it sort of comes back. You weren't really expecting it. Ooh. Reasonable amount of damage. And then just as you think he's finished, he just sort of lunges at you with this little dagger. And he aims sort of low, sort of for your gut.
Wait, you got 2 attacks with a scimitar? Oh shit.
And this gut shot, you sort of saw him move, so you're expecting it, but he's that quick that it sort of slips through your guard and just sort of pierces your stomach. The cut itself wasn't severe, but you sort of feel this poison sort of coursing through. Do you want to make a con save for me, please?
A 2. That's rough.
Ooh. And you feel this poison sort of pour through your body, and you take another 3 points of poison damage. It doesn't seem to do it itself.
I got it. I'm at 14 HP.
Yep. All right, and he just sort of snarls at you, and as you look at him, you see his long, sort of scraggy beard and his little leather cap on his face, and it's like sort of tied with like various animals' claws and like feathers. But he hasn't got many teeth left.
You got that
He just
none
sort
left.
of laughs maniacally. All right, Vic, you're up. What would you like to do? Yeah, Yasmin is sort of hunting you down. This sort of mastiff is just sort of like snarling and snapping at you.
Are there shoulders defined? I don't want to kill it. I just want to shoot it.
Yeah, sure. So you can nominate lethal damage.
Okay.
Yeah, you line this thing up and you just crossbow bolt it. Smacks it straight in the face. You're like point blank almost. Oof. This thing just pierces its brain and this thing just collapses.
Its brain. I didn't want to kill it. I was aiming for like the shoulder.
It was completely your intention not to kill it, but as you were attacking from so close, like you. No, sorry, I misspoke before. You pierce its ear and it slices the side of its face and it drops down and it's still alive, but you've hurt it pretty badly.
Lil, these are hard conditions to work under. And then I'm gonna run back in the woods.
Okay. All right, Yingalore, you're up.
Seeing Storr receive like a savage beating from this guy, I would just going to yeah, no, I think I'm high enough level. Yeah, we're good. So I'm gonna point down. I'm just gonna describe how this would look. So I'm gonna focus my energies on store, and you kind of see me chanting into my crystal, and I sort of like put my staff down on the branch, and I focus all my energy into this crystal, and I point at store, and you see like a light glowing, a faint green, like complementing the purple, like mingling with the purple that he's currently glowing with. As he like you see some of his wounds start to knit together.
Yep.
So, 26 feet out of place.
I just love the idea of Store just glowing multiple colors. Like, I am the Human
Disco.
Torch.
Disco boy.
Yeah. Okay, so it's D6s. So it's 4 healing, and you also get 2 temporary hit points. That's a little disappointing. It didn't roll very well. I think that was a bonus action.
So heal 4 plus 2 temporary hit points?
Yeah.
Alright.
Damn. I rolled terribly. Should just use healing word. Okay. And unfortunately, there's not a whole lot more I could do. I could probably.
Sort of close over, and you sort of feel the effect of this poison sort of like be somewhat negated by this healing.
And I would like to. I'm gonna use Fairy Fire. So it's gonna be a 20-foot cube.
Is that like a cantrip? I didn't think you could cast two
No.
spells.
Balm of the Summer Court is a bonus action. So I don't know.
Okay.
There is sometimes like a restriction. I can't cast 2 full spells, but like that's a bonus action on that one.
So as
Whereas
long
Fairy Fire is an action.
as long as one of them's a cantrip, you can cast 2 spells. If they're both spells, then you can't cast 2 spells. That's my understanding of it.
Okay, I think you're right. That does sound familiar.
Like,
Okay, well then neither of them's a cantrip.
Not 2 spells, unless you. The
Yeah.
only is if you're the sorcerer and you have like quicken feature.
Okay, no worries. Well, in that case, I can't really do anything else. I will just I'll just pick my staff back up and watch with bated breath.
Grish,
Yep.
can you remove my effect? I'm not dual wielding.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a dual wield activated.
Yep.
I'm not dual wielding right now.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. Next up is Yinglo. Store, you're up. So you've just got this healing magic pumping.
I
in.
was skipped.
You feel some of your clothes.
It's Sobek's
Oh
turn?
yeah.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
skipped.
Wow. So Norin, then Vic, then Sorry, I just completely missed you.
No worries.
Yeah. You're up. What do you want to do, man?
So if I was trying to use intimidation, like with my speech, is that considered my action?
What are you actually wanting to do? Like, describe how you're going to try and intimidate Callum? Is that who you're?
Yes.
wanting
I have a certain item that will boost my intimidation, and I want him to lay down his arms if he values his life.
Okay, so
he's clearly
what do you wanna say-
outmatched.
What do you want to say to him?
Exactly that. Lay down your arms if you value your life. You are clearly outmatched. We will kill you otherwise.
Okay, so
And
make an intimidation check with advantage. Is that what you said? Did it give you a flat bonus or advantage?
no, neither. That's what I was about to explain.
Okay.
I've always explained Sobek being black and like dark gray cloaks. Is that considered wearing all black to you?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Then at the end of what I said, it is nothing personal, kid. And I get to tip my hat and add a +5 to my intimidation.
That would
Okay.
be an action, just so you know.
That would be okay. Then yeah, that'll be my action.
Okay. Make an intimidation check. See if that See if you.
I'm using
Alright, so you-
inspiration.
Okay, use inspiration. Alright, so as you sort of try and reason with him, you shout at him.
Sorry, I would have
Yeah.
moved out of the bushes.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So you stand behind Saw. You can sort of see that someone's healed Store from the bushes. You can see Isaac. You saw Vic sort of flit across before. He saw this arrow come out of the bushes and bring his dog down. He can see that he's outnumbered, and he is he's gonna throw down his scimitar into the ground, and he's like, "Fine." He drops his scimitar. It's not his turn yet, so he's not going to step back, but yeah, that's what he's going to do. And then Yingler, and then Store. Store's up next. What do you want to do, Store?
Sobek kind of did that, right? And then I see him dropping his weapons.
Yep. He didn't drop his dagger. He just dropped his scimitar.
He did how much damage to me? 17?
He did a fair chunk. Like, he's pretty handy with those weapons of his.
Yeah, Store doesn't take that shit. He's getting decapitated. Sorry, Sobek. He's getting decapitated. He
It's
swings.
cool. I will use inspiration for it. No worries.
Yeah, I would do this non-lethal though. Like it would be more of like a back of the
Not like we
axe.
have a healer who means no worries.
Okay, so
I love the barbarian. I'm gonna decapitate him, but non-lethally.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah.
make
You
those
would want him
natural-
alive.
So thematically, I'd say that Store goes for this massive like strike, and at the last minute he's like, "Ah, shit, maybe I shouldn't kill this thing," and he sort of pulls his blow.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
rolls the axe around in his hands, but it really is a last-second decision not to decapitate this guy. All right, so you hit this guy. Go ahead and roll for damage.
You see the anger in Store's face as he had to not kill this guy.
And Callum sort of, you see this like taken aback look on his face, and he just sort of looks at you and he just sort of glares, sort of daggers. Isaac, sorry, was there anything else that you want to do on your turn, Store?
I just say you're lucky my friend wanted you alive, or that would have been your head.
Yeah, but so Callum sort of reacts to this, and he's like, "I'll pull your skin off, you glowing creature." And you can tell like he's not gonna like lay his arms down if you guys are gonna keep attacking him. You know, like he's not like once you've like attacked him after he's thrown his sword down, he's not gonna just like lay down and take it. You know what I mean?
I try to kind of make it seem like I'm not gonna hit him again, but more like you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying though.
I think he wouldn't really trust you after the first time that he's laid his weapon down and you've just like hit him. Like he's gonna be like, "What the fuck? I'm not fucking taking this." Yeah, so he's not gonna come quietly anymore. From what you can see, he's snarled at you and he's threatened you again. Yeah. All right, Isaac, you're up. What do you want to do?
Isaac is gonna run up behind him.
Yep. So does the ensnangling roots or does the ensnaring roots, Sharky, does that affect?
I feel like
everybody?
that.
It just
happened
reduces.
at the
It just it's difficult terrain. It doesn't like
Oh.
attack new targets. It only targets people as it like spawns it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't make it all the way behind him. You kind of make it to one side because you're having a bit of trouble moving through this long wavy grass, Isaac. But you can still make it up, just sort of one side of him.
All right, I'm gonna hold up. I'm gonna vow of enmity on him. My vow of enmity Because a grapple is an attack action, correct? It counts as an attack action.
Like a melee attack, yeah. It takes your action, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do a Vow of Enmity first as a bonus action, which is, I'm just gonna say, enough, and it's gonna give me advantage, so I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna try to grapple him with advantage because of Vow of Enmity.
Okay, does he need to make a save, or do you make an attack?
There's no save. It's just it's a 1 per day use, and I'm just gonna make an attack on him.
Okay, yep.
So
I mean, the grapple is just an attack roll, yeah.
right, so that's just a flat d20.
Uh,
Or is there a bonus to that? I do have.
What are you talking about? Grappling?
yeah, how does grappling work?
So essentially how grappling works is you can make an athletics check to grapple someone, and they can either try to avoid it with acrobatics or athletics, and it's an opposed check.
Okay, yeah, cool. Sweet.
All
And
right,
if you succeed, they become grappled but not restrained.
Okay, cool.
All right, athletics.
And then he can choose to roll against you with, well, never mind.
Uh, wait. Pause. Not yet. I have advantage. I forgot. I did Vow of Enmity. So let me roll again.
So he actually rolled a natural 1 for his athletics check, even though he's got a +4 to athletics. You just he wasn't expecting this. You just took him completely off guard.
So, yeah, my grapple position is like bear hug his arms. So what's his status now? Grappled means
His movement is 0. And I think he has disadvantage on attacking people that aren't you. Let me just check.
you glitched. I have no idea what you just said.
I think he has disadvantage on attacking people that aren't you. Let's see. It just says like creature speed becomes 0. That's the main thing. That's pretty much it actually. He's just like he can't move.
Okay.
Okay, so so its speed is 0.
Yeah.
Okay, and all right, yeah. So I'm bear hugging this guy from like kind of behind him. Basically, I
Okay.
took him from behind.
Yeah, fair. All right. So you're just like wrapping your arms around this guy.
Yeah. Yep.
On your next turn, you could choose to like restrain him probably if you wanted.
Oh, I have something for him.
Real quick, I just realized something. I accidentally rolled my double battle axe damage and not my normal battle axe damage, so I rolled 2d8 instead of 1d10. So I don't know if you want to
Okay.
re-roll.
take
Want me to redo that or?
Yeah. So you did 12 damage. Do you want me to just take off 6, and that'll be like roughly 2d8 instead of 1d? Okay, no, just re-roll it, man. Just re-roll. We can sort it out.
I would have
Okay.
done. Yeah, I would have done 6 damage instead. Anyways.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry about that. I just realized that.
No, that's cool. All good. Easy to fix. All right, so this guy, you've got your arms wrapped around him. He's sort of like, he's looking down awkwardly at his rapier that's now on the ground. And he's like trying to reach for it, but you kind of like restrained him and he can't get it. Norin, you're up.
All right. I don't really think there's anything I can do. Is Jerry the dog running away?
Jerry's sort of whimpering near the opening to this tent down here. He's not engaged. He's sort of like licking his wounds, I guess.
Okay, I want to move. Hold on, what's my? I'm slow as shit, Jesus. Yeah, I'm just gonna move there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
so this tent is completely flat on the ground, so you still have.
fuck, that's right.
Could you-
I'm going to. Give me one moment. Okay, I'm going to use primeval awareness to communicate to Jerry that, like our party is friend, and Halem is not.
Okay, make an animal handling check as you
Okay.
try and you straight away you establish this connection, but you're sort of flooded with these waves of like fear and like this primal sort of rage and just like pain and like anguish as this like creature is like licking its.
I will
Alright, you
also.
try-
I'll also
Yep,
tell you
go on.
that it says you cannot use this ability against creatures that you have attacked within the past 10 minutes. I'm pretty sure I have not attacked Jerry, but since I
Okay.
have like attacked his kinsman or whatever, like
Yeah, okay. So you don't like convince him that you're a friend, but he at the moment you sense that he's not going to like any further hostilities against you are kind of going to be ceased. Like he's just sort of licking his wounds. You get a sense of like his mindset as you like sort of connect with him. But he's sort of out of the fight for the minute. I feel like.
okay. And I think that's gonna be all that I do.
Okay. Next up, Callum is got his arms wrapped around him by Isaac. He's sort of flailing and he's kicking and he's sort of growling at you and he's sort of snapping his teeth in your direction. Underneath your, what sort of armor have you got, Isaac?
I have chain. No, wait a minute. Chainmail? Chainmail. I have chainmail.
Sort of at your waist, sort of like the tip of your thigh. He's able to sort of flex and like jab this knife in as he sort of pierces and sort of does a series of short, sharp attacks with this little knife of his. I need a bigger screen. I need another screen, I think. Okay, the first one, it sort of glances off your chainmail, but he keeps stabbing and slashing, and he's just sort of flailing around with this thing. And the next one lands, and you feel it bed deep into your side. You feel it sort of like embed deep in your side. Make a con save for me, please. Okay, you feel this poison sort of coursing through your veins. You take another 2 points of poison damage, which doesn't seem to add it itself. I think it would add it. He slices at you one more time, but the chainmail sort of skirt that you have around your waist sort of defends you from this knife sort of piercing your skin again. But he's sort of just flailing around and he's actively struggling against you in this grapple and trying to shiv you with this little knife.
Isaac's gritting his teeth. He won't let go no matter what.
Yeah, you still have him like contained. Like, you have him. Yep. All right. Next up is Vic. What would you like to do?
I would like to. I only get 25 feet.
All right, you move forward, and your companions are surrounding this guy, but he's like flailing and he's like stabbing into Isaac. What do you want to do?
We shouldn't. We're in the wrong here. We shouldn't have attacked him after. Maybe we can still reason with him. I'm not going to shoot a downed man. And
You still see him stabbing into Isaac, so like he's not like laying down. Like, he's not helpless. He still has a dagger in his hand.
can I shoot him in his hand? I guess I don't. That's a hard shot because I had the potential to hit Isaac. Like I have no good go here.
If that's what you want to go for, I'll allow it. But yeah, it'll be a hard shot. Is that what you want to do?
Fuck man. I'd rather not risk it, honestly. Isaac's there. He's already mad at me, and he thinks I'm some demon bear. So I'm just gonna say, yeah. I'll hold my action if I get a better shot. So if the dude gets up or something, then I'll fire.
So if he breaks the grapple, what'd you say?
Yeah. If he breaks grapple, I'll fucking light his hand up with the dagger.
Yeah, cool. Alright. So Beck, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna Misty Step to where I put my movement.
Yep.
And with that, like, I'm just trying to be out of sight. With my Misty Step, he has no idea I'm there. Correct?
Yeah. You just sort of, from his direction, he sees you disappear.
I'm gonna make I'm going for his wrist that has the dagger, trying to grapple him to the ground and restrain.
Okay, cool. Make a athletics check. As you try and grab his hand, he's sort of flicking this knife around.
Jesus.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's sort of flailing as you try and get close. It sort of like it almost slices your hand open, but you pull your hand back at the last second. Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't successful. Is there anything else that you wanted to do?
I believe that was my turn.
Okay. Jerry's still licking his wounds on the other side of the campsite. Yingalo, was there anything you wanted to do, man?
I'll probably just descend from the tree. Imagine what, I'm about 10 feet up?
Yeah. You scale your way down. A barn sort of flies down with you.
And I'll just get as far as I can towards this general fuckery. And I'm gonna use.
As he sees Sorry, go on.
Yep. I'm gonna use a healing word to bring Isaac up a little bit. So
Okay.
I'll just go ahead. He just gets. Yep.
As he sees you walk out of the wood and heal your companion that is grappling him, he kind of puts his hand up. He's like, "Oh, all right. Don't hurt me anymore." And he drops the dagger in his other hand.
So, is
And he stops struggling.
are we still doing battle order?
No, you guys can.
I wanna do something.
He sort of ceases hostilities unless you guys attack him again.
Can I try something?
Vic,
Yeah.
has our
What do you
rep-
want to do? What do you want to do?
All right. Hold on.
German suplex.
This is exactly what I'm gonna do. So everyone go to general chat.
You are actually like German suplexing this guy.
This is exactly what I want to do. I'm behind him.
Yeah.
I have him in a bear hug, and I want to suplex this guy unconscious. And that's what I want to suplex him unconscious, and then we can figure out what to do after.
Okay. Yep. All right. Make a athletics check for me, please.
As he's doing that, I would like to do something. Just heads up.
All right. What do you want to do still before this happens? You sort of just lift him off the ground and he's dropping backwards. What are you doing?
I want to put away my axes, and I want to pull out some rations and make my way over to Jerry and try to seem really non-threatening and try to like get him to come over to me. I'll go to like here.
As you reach this point, Jerry becomes aware of you. He stops licking his wounds. His head pops up. He looks around. Make an animal handling check for me. Isaac, as you pop up, swing over the back, Calm's head just like dents into the dirt, and he just like whites out. He just loses consciousness.
All right. I kind of dust my hands off, like that's what you get.
And then he
Alright.
comes in from the top rope.
Yeah, I go back and then I run up and do like an elbow drop.
Alright. Nick, did you want to take it?
No elbow drop, no elbow drop. Just a
Vic, you're muted.
suplex. Just a suplex.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had a red pony. I wanna go over to where's Yingalore? Is he still a ferret?
No, he's a Philbog again. He's over here, on the other side of the entangling square.
Yingalore, can you help the one to the left, and I'll start making a shallow grave for the other two, and then I'll take out my crowbar and just start like fucking, getting an outline of the ground so we can bury the dogs.
So, you start to do that as Store sort of what you said you took a ration out of your pack. You just
Yeah.
sort of like whip it in front of you.
Yeah, Sam, I'm
This
trying to get
mass-
him to come over.
This mastiff Jerry just takes like a couple of steps forward, and he's just sniffing. He's got his nose up in the air, but he's still very guarded. He's still very injured.
I just take a
He
seat.
gives a little bit of a growl. Gives a little bit of a growl, but he's pretty hurt. He's not going anywhere. He's just gonna sniff. But he looked friendly at this point. You've got something that he wants.
I'm just sitting here waiting for him to come up.
Over the course of the next 5 minutes, he sort of just drags himself across until eventually he's face to face with you. Ingalore, did you want to do something?
Yeah. For starters, I sort of nod to Vic and I say, "I'm tapped out, but I'll do what I can." And he sort of nods to Store out of respect for like his attempt to gently interact with this wounded creature, and he sort of follows Store's lead. You could see he was sort of heading over that way anyway, but he will also like to just calmly approach. I actually have a trait called Speech of Beast and Leaf or something like that. Let me just check it. So animals can understand me, and I have advantage on charisma checks to make them to influence them. But they can't. I can't understand them naturally, unless I use a spell that I don't have any spell slots for right now. But I do. I sort of I come up next to the Store and I say, "Ooh, there, little fella. Gentle, calm. I'm sorry that we." Yeah, I'm talking to Jerry.
Yep.
I'm just like, I'm sorry that we hurt you and your friends. We just had to make that man pay for what he's done. Let me have a look at your wounds. And I pull out some medical supplies.
Yep. All right. He kind of at this point he's kind of trusting you a little bit. So yeah, he's not going to attack you. He's just going to let you do this thing.
Could I try to heal him with a medicine check and some supplies?
You can try and block these wounds. Yeah, for sure. Yep.
I will make that now. Probably move on to Isaac if you like.
That'll work.
All right. I'm gonna
This is
go
a
ahead and
21.
do my piece after you're done with that.
God
My
damn.
medicine check was a 21, just in case you.
XP thing. Just sorry, Jackie. Just one second.
Yep.
In the XP tab of the party sheet, I've got the encounter. I've got the amount. It's in the quests thing. Drop.
The easiest way is just to make up a random amount of XP in the thing, in the XP area.
Mm-hmm. Award. Ah, wait, sweet. I got it. Yeah, cool. Yep. Does that work?
Yep.
Yeah.
I
cool.
did
All right.
level up, by the way, from the previous session.
You
I just
did
never
level
leveled
up?
up. I just never leveled up officially.
Yeah, that's cool. So the way that 5e deals with leveling up is in order to get the benefit of your next level, you need to spend 8 hours having a long rest, in which you meditate and figure out your new skills. Basically, just work out how this new thing works. Reflect on your experiences, I think, is what they say.
All right, that makes
So
sense.
you can't
That's a good concept.
You had like a long rest.
Um,
Isaac, did you want to do something?
You should probably give XP to Vic. Oh, I
Oh
think
yeah. Sorry. Vic,
yeah.
yeah, cool. So how do
But
And I didn't get any, but Uthar got some.
ooh,
I
right.
didn't get any either.
You didn't update the party before you hit share XP. So you've put us in the combat tracker, but you haven't put the right party into the party sheet.
Yeah, sorry.
you're
I'll do
fired,
that
Grizz.
again.
You're fired.
It's fucking complicated, man. Like,
Yes, yes, it is.
Do you mind if I do my little thing while you're figuring this out?
yeah, cool. Yeah.
All right.
Um,
So I call over Norin. This is a message towards Norin and Sobek. Does anyone here have rope?
Yeah.
All right. He's out cold. I need you to bind him, so when he wakes up, he can't do any harm to us, and we can question him and take him to the proper authorities.
Wouldn't it be best to use that magical rope? Because then they can just always keep itself knotted.
You've got a good point. Maybe you should go ask Yingalor if you could borrow that.
He might not want to talk to me right now.
Okay, then regular rope should suffice. Here, I'll pick him up. Go ahead and tie his hands behind his back and bind his legs as well.
Okay.
And
Do you want me to make like a I don't know, a performance or a survival check or something?
I mean, he's unconscious, so
Oh yeah, it would be.
he's not
yeah,
gonna resist or anything.
Well, I'm in for like integrity of the knots and shit.
Oh,
Unless I can like take 20 on it.
I don't
Take
know.
10,
So-
whatever it is.
Ask the DM.
Okay, so as you feel this rope in your hands, it's sort of very compliant. You still make a sleight of hand check, I believe it is, for knots.
Okay.
But you make it with advantage because this rope wants to do what you
No.
want it to do.
We're not doing it
it's-
with that rope. It's just a regular rope.
Oh, it's regular. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
sleight of hand, normal check.
Even though he's
I
like
get-
unconscious and
Ah,
stuff.
shit.
Even though he's unconscious, it's not really about whether or not he's fighting him. It's about how good a quality knots you make.
All right. Good. Now he's tied. He can't do anything. Okay? So now that this guy's binded, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up his weapons so that way he can't, it's out of his reach and whatnot. Can I go
Yeah,
ahead?
sure.
Yeah,
Can Sobek
So
check
he-
his persons?
what did he have? Like what weapons? I want to just take it.
Okay, so he had a scimitar, like a really good quality, like a flexible spring steel scimitar, and it's like masterwork, I think you'd call it. It's just slightly better than normal. Sure.
Okay.
And also he had this like small sort of thick flat blade sort of skinning knife, and it has this sort of reservoir in the handle, and there's this sort of black ichor in the reservoir of this thing, and it's sort of dripping with this sort of poisonous looking goo.
Do you think you could
Did
add
someone
that?
say that they wanted to search his person? Is that right, Sebek? Is you
Yes,
searching his person?
Yep. Just
Okay,
kind of give him
you-
a rundown for weapons or anything
As
else.
you go through his pockets, there's this pouch that's sort of on his breast. Sort of, it's like a loose sort of bag that he sort of got looped around his shoulder. As you open it up, it's sort of like dried jerky. As you sort of lift his shirt up, you realize he's got like a key. He's got like a chain, like a fine sort of steel chain, and around that there's like a large sort of ornate, oversized brass key. It's sort of like got decorative filigree on the handle. It looks to be like quite intricately made. You go through his pockets. There's a loop of wire, like part of like a snare for like a snare trap. Other than that, you don't really find anything else of value on him.
Grisham,
Yep.
do you think you could add those items to my inventory for me?
No worries.
And you said that they both had special properties. If you could add those details, I'd really
Sure.
appreciate it.
I'll make item.
Thank you, thank you.
Just to not have it being silent. So Store feels like Yingalor and him have been like has like a really like good bad relationship. So he kind of looks up to him. He's like, so thinking I might have a new pet here, and he's kind of just like scratching underneath his chin, saying like his owner doesn't deserve a dog of his quality.
Yeah. So as you pet and sort of you like tending for this thing wounds, like you kind of like how are you interacting with this mastiff, this dog?
I mean, I think Yinggalore is more tending to its wound. I'm just kind of trying to keep its like attention on me, trying to keep it calm, keep it happy, and like,
Yep.
so it doesn't, just go on and like eat us.
Yep. Make an animal handling check for me again, as you're trying to like convince this thing of your good intentions.
As he's sort of like just
5.
talking to
Oh
me,
my god.
and especially after that roll, I sort of look up at him as I'm tending Jerry's wounds, and I'm just like, "Do you think you're worthy of him then?"
I think a dog would do the guild good for company and teach us. That's all I say. Actually, I wouldn't say that. Yeah, I just say he would be good for the guild to keep us good company.
And what
Yes.
good would you do for him?
A warm bed and plenty of food, as much as a boy of his size could eat. And the
Creature
safety
like
of
this
numbers.
shouldn't be. A creature like this should not be at anyone's beck and call. He should choose his own path. Shouldn't you, little fella? And he sort of like scratches behind Jerry's ears.
So are you guys gonna tie him up, or are you gonna like let him be free and see if he follows you or not?
Is this Jerry?
Oh, so you're talking about the dog?
Jerry, no, Jerry. Sorry, not Callum. Callum is tied up. Jerry, are you gonna tie Jerry up, or are you gonna?
Yeah, I have no interest in tying Jerry up.
Okay, cool. So Yasmin is over here. I think I must have deleted her, but she's just on the far side of the tent, and she is not looking good. She is like unconscious. She's still bleeding. You guys
Oh, I
sort
forgot
of
about Yasmin.
Oh crap! I thought she was dead.
I will say that I hear like a whimpering from the other side of the tent, and
So
I
just asked about her, so it's like, yeah, the crossbow bolt's obviously just missed, like sort of embedding herself in its skull, and you can see it's sort of like still piercing her head. It's like you can see the tail of it sticking out her forehead, and like the point of it sticking out next to her ear.
When
Yeah.
I hear this whimpering and I like run over and I look over at Vic and I'm like, "What'd you do to her?"
I tried to aim for the hip. I guess Vic and me was a little too close to the head.
Why are you laughing so much?
I thought I did that. I was like, oh no, I fucked up.
I'd like to try to tend to her wounds.
Okay, make a medicine check for me.
While he's over there distracted with this other dog, I'm definitely trying to lovey-dub up this dog, so it chooses me over him.
Yeah. Yep.
It was a 10.
You take the rest of your ration pack and you're kind of like feeding it, and it's like kind of like hungrily.
Oh
like,
yeah, I'm babying
like
the shit out of this
lapping up.
dog.
Yeah, you totally get the impression that these dogs haven't been like fed overly, like, yeah. So it's
I'd,
enjoying.
How many
the
rations
food.
should I take away? Just real quick.
Just one ration worth, but that one ration worth seems to have filled it up somewhat. That's like you feed it as much as to take. Yeah, go on. Second.
Sorry. I was going to use my red balm to try and stabilize Yasmin.
Yeah, straight away. Like as soon as you get this red balm out, you spread it on this creature's face, and the bleeding kind of it staunches the bleeding pretty much straight away. Yeah, it helps a lot. So you use up the portion of red balm, but yeah, you saved this creature's life.
You'll be alright, little one.
It's still unconscious. It doesn't like come back up, but it's sort of its breathing becomes more regular, and it seems to whimper less in pain. I'd
sort of like to I'll I'll just sort of like tend to her until she awakes.
Yep. Okay.
And,
Hey,
yeah,
Grish.
you can ignore me.
Grish.
Yep.
Yeah, you made those items.
Putting him in the party sheet.
All right, cool.
Yep.
How big is this mastiff? Just out of curiosity.
Massive.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I mean, like, is it just like a normal size mastiff? Like,
They
Giant?
count as they count as medium size. So a halfling can ride a mastiff.
well,
'Cause
he's
it's
mine.
A halfling is small and a mastiff is medium, so it's like it's one size above. So
Oh, that's
like-
awesome.
if it's properly trained, then a mastiff. Like halflings train them as mounts. That's a thing.
So it says rapier, but didn't you say it was a different thing?
Yeah, it's
Scimitar.
You said
it's a
scimitar.
masterwork rapier. Did I say scimitar?
You said
Sorry.
You
scimitar.
said scimitar earlier, yeah.
Yeah, so
I did mean
and
scimitar.
there was also like a vile dagger, like black ichor, something.
Working on it.
Alright.
Poison dagger.
Yeah, I don't mean to give you a hard time. It's
No,
just
no,
in
you're
case
right,
you
you're right.
forgot. Might as well mention it.
No, you're right.
Cool, cool.
So masterwork scimitar. So this is a craftsmanship weapon. So what that means is it hasn't got any additional damage bonus, but it has a +1 bonus to hit. So it's not magical. It's just really well made from like a master craftsman. And also you can get grandmaster, like a weapon that's been made by or armor that's been made by grandmaster. That's +2 to either to hit or for armor. It's +2 AC.
Alright.
So these are just like, so this thing is worth, just by looking at it, you can tell that it's worth a lot of money because it's exceptionally crafted.
Okay.
How's his dog looking? Does he look like he's chill with me now? Like, is he like on his back and I'm rubbing his tummy, or is he still just kind of sitting there, looking at me like I really don't trust you at all?
He's still wary of you, but he's kind of like regards you as a friendly acquaintance.
All right.
He's not like moving anywhere anytime soon. He's still damaged. He's not necessarily following you around, but if you keep supplying him food, you think he might keep like hanging around you for sure.
All right. So Stor's just sitting here. He looks back at the rest of the party and he says, "I am not going anywhere without this dog. He can't be out here by himself. So either we make camp here, or somebody has to help me get this dog back to the cabin so we can, or back to the plateau to rest."
You really love that dog, don't you, Store?
He reminds me of my childhood puppy.
I'm also interested because worst case scenario, I might be able to ride it into battle. Or best case scenario, I should say.
Okay.
Well, I crouch over and look at Jerry. I want to hold out my hand. How does Jerry react? You know when you kind of hold out your hand to a dog, see if it
Yeah,
sniffs
he
it or
kind
something?
of like sniffs for a bit, takes a little bit of time sniffing, and then just sort of licks slowly.
I like him.
Good boy.
Yes, we should take him to the camp. I wouldn't mind the company of such a friendly creature.
He will not be used for combat though. He is purely a dog of comfort and home.
Agreed. I'd be too distracted if I were to see him injured during battle.
That's
Does he have a
what
collar?
So we have a name. We don't know the name of this thing. It was just named so we could keep track of it during battle. So like we can totally name this thing, right?
Oh yeah, that's what I was asking. Does it have a collar with a name on it?
No, it's just got a it has a collar. It's just a dog. It just has nothing on it.
Well, I overheard Yingalor say earlier that we should let the animal itself decide if it wants to stay by our side. So if it follows us home, then we should name it and treat it as one of us.
Well, I'm not leaving until it's ready to leave itself. And I think Sobek had something to say.
While that was going on, I was just wondering, I was looking through these tents. Is there a chest or anything? And I used sleight of hand on that key. Like I pocketed that up my sleeve. I'm looking for anything that this might go to.
What did you take? Sorry.
That ornate brass key that I found on this person.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. It's in the party sheet if you want to claim that. Can you guys claim things from the party sheet? Is that a thing? Can you see the items that I put in there? Like I put down Isaac's
Yeah.
name under the dagger and the scimitar because he said that he like grabbed them.
Yeah, I could see
and
the
still-
name in the thing. There isn't a claim button per se, but I'm assuming it'll give it to us.
How do I claim it? I see it, but
Don't you just drag it to your
Whoa,
sheet?
whoa, whoa! You gave that to Yingalore.
You can drag the link onto your character sheet. Sorry, I realized I've been muted.
thank you.
I'll give it to Isaac there, but essentially, yeah, you can drag onto the sheet.
Store, can you make a Constitution saving check for me, please?
Ah, that does work. Thank you for that advice.
What's
Yeah, you can drag it,
this-
so that's how you do it.
Oh, hang on, that one outside the
Let's
box.
see if we give it to you though. It's weird. I can drag it back into the character sheet, into the party sheet
16?
though.
All right, you put your hands up to your throat again, and you realize that this necklace is still choking you. That necklace is still around your neck, isn't it? You never did anything to.
Are you
to stop this thing.
serious? So it didn't
Yeah,
stop
you-
after this guy got unconscious or anything?
You're just joking, like,
Nah.
it's all good.
Gotta help the dog.
I forgot about that.
To bring.
Can I just take? Is it like tight? Do I have to make a strength check?
It is tight. It's like wrapping around your.
I want to
your
help.
neck.
I want to
As
help
you were
him.
like, what are you doing to try and break this thing off from around your neck? Because it's choking the shit out of you.
I
Describe what would be doing.
stop petting the dog for a second, and I gesture to Isaac to kind of grab on the back, and we're just gonna try to rip this thing apart, the two of us.
Yeah,
Okay.
I free up both my
Okay.
hands, and
Make a strength check with advantage.
do I have to make one or just store?
Just one check.
16.
Okay, as you rip this thing in, it sort of like digs into your neck, and you feel it like cutting. But eventually, with the two of you pulling on this thing, it kind of like tears and slowly and just pops, and it bursts free. You take another 4 points of piercing damage as the icicles kind of like cut open your neck a little bit.
Should I get rid of temporary first then?
Yeah, no, the temporary should have disappeared when you
They're from Yingalore. He gave me 2 extra.
So the temporary, if you have temporary hit points and you take damage, it always goes off the temporary first, and then whatever's left over goes off your hit points.
Alright, 16 HP left again. How does the dog react? Does the dog chill still? I care more about this dog than myself at this point.
This dog is sort of like looking at you with some concern, but he's not making any overt movements. He's just sort of like laying there.
I
Still
offer him
pretty good.
another ration.
He's pretty full. Like he doesn't like.
Okay, alright.
How
it's fine.
does he look? Like any wounds? How is he? What's his shape like? Like his health overall? Anything happening? Anything?
I think he's just got an arrow sticking out of his leg.
Hang on, are you really gonna tell me Yingalore with his 21 in healing check didn't pull that out and
No,
wrap it?
He's stabilized him, yeah. So he's cut the arrow off, but that's how he's wounded. Like he has this arrow hole through his leg. Like,
Is
that's how
it?
he's
It's like a scar or an existing wound?
Did Yingalore bandage it? I kind of forgot that.
Yeah, he
So
did a
Jerry-
healing check.
Jerry, I healed and like patched up his wounds as best I
Yeah.
could, and I got a 21. And then Yasmin or whatever it was, I tried to stabilize, got a roll of 10, and so I decided to use the red balm.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, Jerry is bandaged. Sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah,
Don't try to
Jerry's-
disrespect my best friend like that.
He's got a bum leg. Like he's just sort of like curling it up beside him. All right. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to do while you're in this? Actually, there was one thing. Storr was going to search this tent, wasn't he? So are you
was.
doing
Sobek was.
so big? So big.
I wasn't gonna search no times.
Yeah, I
So-
was
so-
looking to see if anything matched this key. If there's any chests or anything around.
No worries. You don't see any chests in this vicinity. There's a pack, and it has like a couple more knives, a couple of lengths of string, a parcel of salt or two. But no, you don't see any corresponding chests in this vicinity.
How bloody is this area?
How bloody is it?
Yeah, like,
You wouldn't say
100%.
it's pretty. Like as you notice from the fire, it's only he hasn't set up camp here for very long. Like this isn't very far from his home.
no. I'm talking about because we like did a couple, like we did a little bit of damage to these people, but like we didn't like slaughter an entire village. So like, is it like huge blood splats, or is it just like minor blood kind of in certain spots? Like if we make camp here, it's not gonna be really sketchy, is it?
No, it's just minor sort of injuries.
All right, I tell the party I think we should make camp here, and at least for a little bit, just to let the dogs rest.
I'm okay with that idea, but we need somebody to keep an eye on Callum at all times. He could wake up at any moment, but not any moment soon. I did suplex him.
That you did.
Give that
Alright,
man some
so-
inspiration. Come on.
Yeah, no, that definitely deserves inspiration. In the character sheet, I just ticked the little box. Yeah.
The thing is, I have 2 inspiration points already. Can we say I have 3?
Yeah, if you like.
I'll take that inspiration off your hand. It's okay.
No,
you-
no, no.
If you want to go rules as written though, 5e, you only have an inspiration point for the session. So if you don't use it that session, you'll lose.
Oh, that's how it is? Do you wanna
Yeah,
do you wanna make
I
an
don't-
exception?
No, I don't run it like that. That's just how the rule fucking record it. But I reckon.
Yeah,
people
so
should-
5A rules as well, you're actually only allowed 1 stack of inspiration, but with the way I will like to run things, it's just like 2 stacks and you don't have to use them when you get them.
So how
But I
does
would say you
so-
probably can't stack to 3.
Alright, no, that's fine. You know, I don't need the inspiration. I'm happy just being able to suplex a person.
I mean, I think the only reason is because it can be like completely game breaking when like someone fucking just is gonna get destroyed and then they come back, use all 3 points of inspiration and just like kill the bad guy. for the
No, I
last
don't
second.
mind at all. It just gives me more motivation to use my inspiration instead of just hoarding.
And then I think that's the intention of the rule for people to be able to like engage and not like stockpile and like use it up and like make these dramatic moments like as you go through.
Alright, maybe if I fail my next
It's like a re-roll. It could be something you fail and you get to redo it.
Alright, yeah. Then let's just say I have 2 and then I'll make sure to start using them just in case I get more.
Sure. So you guys are setting up camp for the night. There's still a fire going.
Is that okay with everybody? We camp here.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I might have to leave soon.
Yeah, no worries. All right. Do you guys want to? What do you want to do, Jackie? Do you want us to call it here for today, or do you want us to keep going for a bit more, or what do you? What does everyone else want to do?
You don't have to
We
call it on my behalf.
We should just get the prisoner back to Floria, get him sentenced for his crimes, and call it a day.
Yeah. So just let's
Yeah.
just talk to me a little bit about the security arrangements of how you're going to escort this prisoner back, what sort of precautions you're going to take, what the watch sort of is going to be like.
I want to be the
Then
guy walking him. I'm the one like basically right next to the prisoner, like holding the chains, like binded to this guy, like he's a slave.
Yep. Okay.
That's fine. But for tonight, the camp, I suggest 3 watches of 2.
Yep. Okay. So you do like a double picket. You make it through the night without any incident. There's one sort of. So you guys are making your way back to town the next day.
Well, I figured he'd go to Floria because Inglor would probably want him there to pay for what he did.
hmm
How do the dogs react to us? Like, I
Yeah,
mean, I don't care about the other dog. I'm just talking about Jerry. He's my best
J-
friend now.
Did Jerry follow us?
All
Please
right.
say
On the edge
yes.
of the, So you guys break camp in the morning. You pack up all your things. You walk to the edge of the campsite. The dogs are still sort of floating around the fire. As you look back at them, you and Jerry kind of lock eyes. Still, make an animal handling check for me, please.
I just want to make it known right now before I roll this that if he doesn't come, I will sit here the entire night until he does.
Okay.
Not really. Yes!
He runs away.
Alright, you kind of just lock eyes with this Jerry, and he kind of just like looks down and just pads over, and he just kind of affectionately like licks your leg.
I give him a piece of ration. Say good boy.
Yasmin's still sort of curling up near the fire. She doesn't move. She doesn't go to follow you guys. It's just Jerry that's coming with you.
Should someone get? I look at Yingalore and I say, do you want to try to bring the other dog? I don't think I can handle two.
I don't believe she wants to join us.
I don't think we should leave her out here either.
Bear with me. And you see Yingalaw sort of like crouch down by Yasmin, and you see him like center his attention upon his like magic focus now that he's had a long rest, and he casts Speak with Animals.
All right, you start communing with Yasmin.
Okay, I'd like to start by saying ruff 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 ruff. You got that right.
Fork, fork.
Fork.
You go.
I'd like to say in Doggies, again, I'm sorry for what we did to your companions. We were backed into a corner on that one. Are you feeling better this morning?
I feel like death. Oh, sorry. Oh, let me just change. I
Say
feel like
Jesus.
I feel like death. I don't like this place at all. I want to get away from here. I don't like it. I don't know who you are and I don't trust you. I don't know why Jerry's fucked off with you. I don't like it at all. I just want you to leave me alone.
Maybe I can help with that if you'd let me. And I reach towards her face gently, and my hand starts to kind of glow faintly green. And I'm trying not to spook her.
Yeah. She winces for a second, but then as she knows, like, you're not hurting her, kind of like leans into it.
I'm going to cast Cure Wounds.
Okay. Her face sort of heals up a little bit, and you can sort of see some of the color return back to her nose. Looks a bit healthier again. And she's like,
Look.
"This doesn't change anything. I still don't like your kind." And she sort of stands up at this point and sort of pads back into the forest on the opposite side. And just sort of looks back for a second, but then like just runs off.
You don't like my kind? What about these assholes?
At this point,
We
you're
are
not
at-
talking to anyone. Run off into the trees.
Wait, did you
just
say
did.
that in common then? What about
said that
these
in
assholes?
Doggies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
At that point, I would I'd like to wild shape into a dog and follow her.
Yes.
Cool.
So are you taking the shape of a mastiff now that you've seen mastiffs?
Yep. Can I become a mastiff? What's the CR rating on a mastiff? Is it like 1/4?
1/8, I think.
1/8? Oh yeah, then I can become a mastiff. Yeah, I'm gonna become a mastiff and chase after her and spend like the next hour trying to become her friend, win her trust over.
Alright.
It deeply
Make-
it deeply bothers me that like an animal doesn't love me.
Alright, make a dex check as you follow this thing through. It's like bolting and you're like bolting after it.
Okay.
Does anyone from the party want to intercede or make any movements, or are you just gonna watch
Just-
this?
Just as he's turning into a dog, I'd kind of just look at the party and be like, I thought we were supposed to make him pay for his crimes. What? Okay, I guess dogs are important too. Since I've got my buddy here, and I kind of rub his head.
Isaac, Isaac's been watching the bond slowly form between Store and Jerry. A single
10.
tear flows from the corner of his eye.
It's very mournful. Everyone's very moved.
That's beautiful, Isaac
It
says.
comes to this certain. comes to this certain part of this forest, and you're smelling around, and you can kind of get to this point where you're like, you can either jump over this log and like follow it to the right, or you can wind underneath and follow it to this tunnel on the left. And you can't really tell which direction this scent is coming from, but it's one of these two. Do you want to go right or left?
Right.
Okay, you go right. You head up over the log, and you sort of you come across this sort of hole in the ground, this sort of like dark, dank opening. If you continue in this direction, it's going to take you into this sort of cave system. Do you want to continue into the cave system, or do you want to double back and try and work your way underneath the log?
I will double back and try to work my way under the log. But if I
Okay,
can't
you
catch any scent of her, like upon changing my course, I'm just gonna give up.
Yeah, you work your way under this log, and the sort of opens up into sort of more fields, but you can't smell her anymore. Seems that she's escaped.
I just like howl mournfully, and just pad my way back to the party.
As you howl mournfully, you sort of you see like a wild horse, like a brumby, sort of like in the clearing, sort of just chewing on some grass, and you kind of startle at it, and it kind of like bolts. Yeah, you make your way back to the party. What do you guys all want to do?
Well, this guy needs to see justice. As Isaac wipes the tear from his eye and reverts his gaze to Callum.
Okay. The rest of your trip back to Felorius sort of passes without too much incident. There is one point where you cross over a fairly major river. Before you make the trip across, so Isaac, you're fairly close behind Callum. You're like walking like prisoner style.
Yep.
You get this funny feeling as he's sort of looking around. He's looking left over the side. He's looking at the water, like he's kind of like judging the distance. You can see, like if this was that maths meme, you can see like the equation sign, like the time symbol, like floating around in his head. You can see the wheels in his head turning. Is what I'm trying to say.
Suplex him again.
Is that what he's called? Suplex.
The German suplex.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just have him do that
So
again.
Wait,
So
what does
you
he
can't-
do? What's happening?
Nothing's happened yet, but you're kind of expecting him to make some kind of move at this point. So you
No,
make
I
your way
noticed.
about halfway over the bridge, and you just see his leg tense as he goes to leap over the side into the flowing water.
Can I attempt to grab him?
Yeah, make a dex check for me. All right, you're holding his chain still, and he doesn't manage to break free, and you just yank it back, and you put him on his back, and he just kind of laughs. He goes, "Ha ha ha! Worth a try."
I want to punch him.
All right,
Hold
you
on.
punch him.
Before you do that, I'm gonna pull out. Hold on, let me find it real quick.
There's no way you reacted fast enough to stop me from punching
Okay,
him.
that's fair. You punch him.
All right,
But,
you punch him.
I'm also gonna pull out. I have a vial of spider rabbit venom. I'm gonna pull that out, and I'm
Yep.
gonna go up to him, and I'm going to attempt to intimidate him.
Okay, wait, you said something about break. I would like to hear you elaborate. I punched
break
him.
his nose.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
His nose sort of goes sideways, and there's a trickle of blood running out. So
Don't do that
just
again.
how? So you're wanting to intimidate him? What are you
Right.
saying to him? Like
So,
how you?
While
And
he's
what-
still
what
on
do
the while he's still on the ground, I'm just gonna hold the vial up next to him. I'm gonna pull out my dagger.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna like look at the vial, look at the dagger, and then look at him. I'm gonna hold the dagger up to him and be like, "Do you know what this is?" And I assume he's just gonna say no.
He goes, "Oh, give me a sniff." And he goes to smell the vial.
Yeah, sure. I'll let him have a sniff.
He smells it, and he's like, he looks at you, and he's like, Smells like your mum's fanny.
I want to punch him again.
Yeah,
Eh,
you smack.
Can I intimidating punch him? Like, oh god, he's gonna keep punching me. I need to calm down. Kind of intimidation.
All right, you punch him again, and he's sort of the head lolls to the side this time. You've like rattled him a bit more, and he's kind of a bit disoriented.
I'm gonna continue
make
on.
Make an intimidation check for me.
Oh, I'm not done yet.
You're not done yet.
No,
Yep, go
I
on.
have more I want to say.
Oh
Yeah, cool.
well, he's punched either way the second time.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because he disrespected you.
So I'm gonna tell him this is a paralytic poison. How well do you think you'll be able to swim if this is coursing through you?
Mhm.
I'm gonna like put it back away and shit. Now that
doesn't-
was the end of it. So now I'll do my intimidation.
Yeah, make an intimidation check.
The small child.
You just kind of.
It's just real quick. Is he? Does he have super cocky vibes right now? Like he's like, oh, I don't care, everything else.
He did until you broke his nose. I mean,
So-
now he's just like.
So he's like calmed down now.
I would think he's
Okay,
dizzy too, because he got
Yeah,
rocked the
kind of
second time.
disoriented. He got like
Yeah.
just haymaker like twice in the head.
All right, just keep me posted if he tries this shit again. I say to Norin and Isaac.
Yeah.
I look at Store and give him a firm nod, then dart my eyes back into this guy.
Yep. All right. So you guys make your way back to Faloria without any further incident. As you make your way through the mist on the outside of town, I think I'm probably gonna leave it there for today. I think Jacques needs to